start tripping till you're the only one standing up straight, win it all.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
You just gotta wanna keep chasing, put you everything you're facing. Keep up with the pace and adrenaline rush starts racing. Get through all the things you hate in. Don't let the others in charge of your dreams. They just don't know what it takes to be seen. You see the shit take control of your team, and if you're alone, then a one-man army. So you better be starving, and you better be carving. Through the hate, keep marching, and every day keep charging ahead till you get what you want, what you dream. Regret is a thing of the past, and you'll see that you always had it inside. Is the key to make the most of this life believe.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go.
Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit in a plan and I found out that I can execute. If I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom, read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system, I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing.
Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
It's out there somewhere, I swear I can find the recipe. By testing, learning, and turning into a better me.
It lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. It lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
I got all the voters. I swear to God, I've been at it for a minute. Climbing to the top, and this music was my ticket. Found a way to grind, turn a passion to a business. No limit, I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need the chase. I love the race, and I'm running till I'm first place. Long nights, long flights, I'ma make it big. Big dreams, big sights since I was a kid. Doing things that I like, let the pieces fit. I like the pain, feel alive when I'm under it. I could change, adapt, do what I need to. All these obstacles, they look and see through. Don't let the anger out, just let it feed you. I'll see you at the top, just let me teach you.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motor. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
They be like, really, you got a milli from doing something silly? I'm like, chilly, I've been killing for decades now, Billy. Well, maybe like several years, but who's counting really? I just know how to turn something silly into a milli. Got a lot to say, and a lot need to hear it. You don't quit today, we don't stop, no, we feel it to the top. Yeah, we change our whole world, yeah, we steer it. Getting lost in the things that make us so worth hearing. I'm the first one to turn up, learn stuff, but mostly I'm just in the lab getting work done. Cause the bills on the first, they still worth some. I never forget being broke, man, it hurts, son. But not as bad as not having any purpose. I took stabs, this and that, and it's working. But I still grind every day for that thirst. It's a curse being first, yeah, still gotta get my work done.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motor. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn way. Ain't nobody tell me shit, I'm on top of it. Writing hits that make other people feel like writing hits. We gon' get every little goal that we wanna get. Never quit, we don't even know what it means to quit. Write it down, what you want, what you need, what you see. Everything that you wanna be. Put it out in the world, that's your destiny. In your mind, what you need is to have believe. I'm gon' make it to the top. Cause I never stop, my own switch doesn't have enough. I think it's broken, I think it's lost. I guess that's why I never take a loss.
New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe. And you will succeed, put the hours in, and and you're bound to win.
Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion and leave it behind, adequate. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen and you could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The high life is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you can do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your worth go up like inflation and start chasing your dreams, stop waiting.
New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down what you see, don't give up, just believe and you will succeed. Put the hours in and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down what you see, don't give up, just believe and you will succeed. Put the hours in and you're bound to win.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call a covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an itch, man, I'm making. Oh, I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top and the sailing. They can all try, but you cannot contain it. Cause I see the things that I want and I take on my goal. Push myself to the brink, no limit. Do what it takes to be free, committed. I'm a little obsessed with things, I'll admit it. But that's what it takes to get a freedom ticket. Got a killer instinct and it's just the beginning. Breaking down walls and the hurt start thinning. And the more you push, see the fast start trimming. Till you're the only one standing up straight, winning all.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
chasing. You just gotta wanna keep chasing. Pursue everything you're facing. Keep up with the pace and adrenaline rush starts racing. Get through all the things you hate in. Don't let the others in charge of your dreams. They just don't know what it takes to be seen. You see the shit take control of your team. And if you're alone, then a one-man army. So you better be starving. And you better be carving. Through the hate, keep marching. And every day keep charging ahead till you get what you want, what you dream. Regret is a thing of the past, and you'll see that you've always had it inside. It's the key to make the most of this life for me.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go.
Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system, I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing.
Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Purpose is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you're doing something, that's all you need. I wake up ready for the day because I believe in everything that I'm doing, like it was meant to be. I get fixated and captivated on learning things. Don't hesitate to ask questions, the answer that I need. It's out there somewhere, I swear I can find the recipe. By testing, learning, and turning into a better me.
Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
got all the voters. I swear to God, I've been at it for a minute. Climbing to the top, and this music was my ticket. Found a way to grind, turn a passion to a business. No limit, I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need the chase. I love the race, and I'm running till I'm first place. Long nights, long flights, I'ma make it big. Big dreams, big sights since I was a kid. Doing things that I like, let the pieces fit. I like the pain, feel alive when I'm under it. I could change, adapt, do what I need to. All these obstacles, they look and see through. Don't let the anger out, just let it feed you. I'll see you at the top, just let me teach you.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you didn't miss us too much from yesterday. After the semifinals occurred, we are now heading into the last day of Season 11 Plausible Gaming Championship over towards CS2. It is going to be me, Puffle Bob, leading you through the matches, alongside Spectrion, who is replacing Edu. And Spectrion, this is your first time here towards Plausible, and I just have to ask, how are we feeling?
Oh, I'm incredibly excited. I mean, it's not every day you get to do a best of 5 your first time in a tournament. Obviously, the grand finals, and obviously, Edu, big boots to fill, but I'm looking forward to getting straight into the action. Obviously, both these teams have made their way into the grand finals, single elimination bracket for anyone who is tuning in for the first time. Season 11, I mean, obviously they're going to want to get their win over the line, but best of 5, often a slog, man.
100%. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be the largest season we've had because the prize pool has never been bigger. A total of $1,000 on the line, and the first place gets the most of it. Again, these two teams are really going to go into it, and they've already shown what they have on the table yesterday. Dragons, a real strong team. A rough beginning on Ancient that went towards overtime, but they scrawled on back, and then they took it dominantly going into Mirage. While for looting experience, they showed that they can exhaust themselves. They can go for the full 3 maps, and that's what both these two teams are going to need. Right? Like you mentioned, there were single elimination brackets, all best of ones up until the semifinals, which was yesterday. So these teams were kind of getting used and adapted into a form where you only need to play 1 map and then you continue or lose. This time around, it can go up to 5 maps, and that energy and how you're able to pace it and tempo it as the matches and rounds go on is extremely important, especially in a competitive environment. But once more, we are here at Plausible Gaming, and of course, this could not be possible without the Plausible LFG community-driven Discord looking for group system, which it's a Discord bot. You invite it into your server, and then any player that wants to get into a group or get a little 5-stack going for their own competitive roster stack, whatever you want to call it, you know, can just sign up. And then, of course, there's going to be no toxicity. There's going to be no long waiting queues. So I don't think this is an opportunity you want to miss out on. It's free, so get on in. And, of course, for the early access, have a better look towards at plausible.gg. But, again, we are going into the grand finals. And Spectrion, you know what? Yesterday we had a lot of repetitive maps. On both the best of 3s, we had Ancient first, Mirage second, and then the third decider, which wasn't very common either way. But I'm going to have to ask you, since we're going into a best of 5, there's going to be a variety of maps. What do you want to see?
I mean, personally, I always want to see Nuke. I'm a Nuke fanboy. I will always play Nuke on my own matchmaking queues, and everything else. Obviously, we'll love to see as much variety as possible. Obviously, when you come into these best of ones, you don't necessarily need to play half the pool, realistically. You just don't have that much map to be tested on, and so your actual variety or flexibility isn't all that important, just whether you can hit the ground running on the day. Best of 5, the exact opposite. You're in for a marathon, not a sprint. Your map pool is obviously going to be tested. Like, minimum, you play 3 maps, you've only got the 1 ban. You've got to basically run the whole gamut of the pool, and on top of that, like, you can't just, you know, rock up, play with your momentum, get one like 13-1, and then call it a day. You've got to play 2 more after that, right? So the absolute best case scenario, you're playing 39 rounds. That is no small feat, and of course can go so much longer. Some of these games take north of 6 hours, and so I mean, I'm sure you felt it in your own games. You queue matchmaking for long enough, and your brain just begins to fog up, slow down. It's that multiplied by a million during these officials when you're trying as hard as you can every round, when you're combing as hard as you can every round. And so, stamina, I think, has got to be the name of the game here.
100%. Stamina is going to be a huge factor. Now, when we take a look at the angle of how much experience both these teams have, Dragons is a fairly respectable esports organization in the background and has a following in League of Legends, also a bit of CS2. Loading experience, bit of a pug stack, but again, they do have experience to carry it through as they shown yesterday. As in the meanwhile, let's actually take a better look at these teams again. Dragons roaring sky high. The logo can be recognized if you're a League of Legends fan, coming out from the Saudi Arabia side of esports, and then Looting experience, maybe a bit more common, maybe a bit more, I would say, home to Plausible Gaming, but they play every now and then. Again, they have a really solid roster, so if you underestimate them, they're going to come back to bite you very strong. So this is going to be very exciting, but, you know, we talk about what happened yesterday. How about we actually see what happened yesterday and see what the highlights that the beautiful prod in the background have prepared for us look like? Because, again, there was a lot of aces, there were clips, there was probably clutch moments that we're going to be seeing more throughout the day, so let's get those highlights rolling as soon as we can.
Yeah, get a bit of a taster in before the action actually gets started. Obviously, it was a relatively easy win for Dragons in that semi-finals. You mentioned a 16-13 and then a 16-3 to make it more or less balanced out. Seeing that here, this Ancient, obviously, much closer than the Mirage that came after it. I think Losing Experience had a bit more of a long match to play. See if that counts as additional experience. But you have to imagine Dragons, you know, being a quote-unquote more serious team, might have a bit more experience with these long days, going for double, you know, triple blocks in practice. I don't know. I just really waiting to see what both these teams have in store for us. Again, we can have all this conversation about what you do in like best of 3, how you're going to play, but once you actually get into the super long format of the grand finals, then we really don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, we're taking a bit of a reminiscent moment here. Remind, Og, Zacharino, all these names extremely filled with deja vu since yesterday. Again, they really were strong on this Mirage. And when it came down to team fundamentals, no one can beat them, especially Ghost, who's proved to be such a menace on that Ancient. But Ancient is a bit more strategical, right? Utility reliant, down to team, time wastage, and such. But in the end, when it came down fundamentals alone and chemistry, Dragons proved to be a completely different story. So yeah, that's how Dragons were. Again, a dominant force, especially once warmed up in map number 2. But we also have the highlights here for the side of Looting Experience, which will be popped up in just a moment. But again, Dragons, I'm looking forward to seeing what comp map pool they're going to be aiming for here today. As in the meanwhile, I do believe the Looting Experience highlights are also ready, so let's have a look as to what they had to show us yesterday.
Yeah, a little more experience. I mean, obviously the most commanding showing is going to be that 13-3 win on Mirage. I'll get that in a second, though. Again, this Ancient heavily tested. It seems like, as you mentioned, these maps were very samey. There's a lot of parallels we can be drawing between what Looting Experience and what Dragons had to bring to bear in that semi-finals. And obviously, they have had time to go away, watch each other's games, see if some adaptation is going to be coming through on either the Mirage or the Ancient, because both teams, obviously, able to get a close match on Ancient. Oh, by the way, a knife? Really? I mean, never feels good, does it?
No, it doesn't. Looting Experience, some of these players have also loved playing the mental game, which is something I'm a big fan of. I think, you know, people say, oh, don't BM others, don't be toxic. No, in competitive, it's a fair game for everyone, and as long as you don't go over a certain line, it is just mental. This is something that we saw from Looting Experience and these players, as again, Miz were feeling it. I think one of the players from Looting Experience was also, or rather from Miz, was quite unhappy with how Looting Experience were doing them with these knife kills, with just pistols, and in general, a dominating team. But, you know, we've seen all these clips, and now we just get to put up our question of who's going to take it home for the grand final, who's going to have the majority of the prize pool of $1,000, because both of them look phenomenal, both of them look strong. Now it's time to put it to the test who truly is the best in Season 11.
All we can do is wait and see. Obviously, both these teams have a huge claim to get that over the line. Losing Experience, you mentioned a bit more experience in the tournament. Obviously, Dragon maybe a bit more experience together. But, you know, to circle back to what you were saying about that mental, I mean, such an important thing, especially in Counter-Strike, where you're given so long to stew with your own thoughts. When you're given so long to just be in the server, right? You get somebody tilted early on, and they're essentially down a player. You go to any LAN, I'm sure you've heard the screams across the hallway. It's the most entertaining thing about being there, right? Other than watching the games. So a huge part of the culture, and that's something I personally want to see. Because as long as you don't say anything, you know, you wouldn't want your mama hear you saying, it's all fair game.
100%. 100%. But now, as we do wonder how the result is bound to be, first we still need to take a look at the maps, the arenas these gladiators will fight in, and let's waste no further time getting to them. We have 5 maps ready, and let's take a look at how it went from the beginning till the end. The first span here will be by Dragons, and they get rid of Overpass, which I'm personally not that large of a fan of Overpass. It's alright, it's whatever, but I am wondering what Looting Experience are looking to get rid of, because again, they have shown what they can play yesterday, and Inferno is not going to be one of our maps today.
Yeah, obviously one of the most utility-heavy maps in the game. Retakes are really tricky. It allows you to play a little bit more chill. And I know I mentioned earlier on wanting to see Nuke, but Jack has given me a gift opening out the series with it. Obviously, CT Start going to be chosen from Losing Experience. Anubis, second up. That's been a map that's been developed so heavily since it released, right? Slightly less T-sided, rather, as I understand it, but still something that you've got to be worried about. Dragons taking the CT Start. Dust 2, Orpa's Paradise for the third, and Mirage for the fourth. Obviously, Decider being that Ancient that we spoke about, that both teams have all that tape on that they struggled on so much. Neither seems to want to exploit each other's weaknesses.
I like this. Ancient yesterday was the first map for both these teams. Now they're going to resort to it being the Decider. It's a good turnaround, but mostly we also get to see new maps. Hopefully, at least we're going to reach that Dust 2, which, again, you're either a Dust or a Mirage fan, so you're probably most people are going to look forward to seeing Dust before the Mirage, since those two maps, again, are the most commonly played throughout CS and gaming history, I'd imagine. But Nuke, as a beginner, I think probably one of the most versatile maps. You want long angles, go outside. You want close range gunfights, go A, go lobby. Whatever you want to do, it most probably will work on Nuke, and I'm especially looking forward to the Deagle shots. That Looting Experience, they've shown what they can do with those Deagles yesterday, but I mean, speaking a bit more about the maps, right? Nuke, none of these two teams have seen it played. The thing is, if Dragons or Looting Experience were to do, or have to be done, have to have done homework on each other previously, because again, the semifinals were streamed. Dragons could have just taken a look at Looting Experience, maybe written down some analyses, checking out what they can use to counter them in these following maps. I'm imagining Anubis is going to be a bit easier here for Dragons, but Looting Experience already showed us that they can win on that map, so there's that type of head forward. Dust 2, we haven't seen any of these two teams play it. Nuke goes about the same, so these first 3 maps are certainly going to be interesting. It's then when we delve towards Mirage and Ancient, which we've been quite commonly claimed to yesterday already, that's when we go and return to the more casual side of things, but hey, I'm looking forward to it because, again, these two teams are, I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, you know, separating the first 3 from the last 2. Obviously, there's structure and mechanics required in all Counter-Strike maps that goes as naturally as breathing, right? But the first 3, I think, are going to be a little bit more consistent. Dust 2 and Mirage can just go a little bit more down to if you have somebody shooting on the day, if you're feeling confident on the day. Obviously, Dust 2 especially being so, well studied. We've had it in the game for, what, 20 years? Pushing 30 now, probably? Right? Like, there's everything there is to know, surely, already out on Dust 2 Mirage. Obviously, the famous pub deathmatch map. You really want to be going towards those maps with already a bit of a lead, in my opinion, because they're going to be naturally a bit more of a coin toss than the opening 3, which you can get a little bit more from your anti-stratting, from your research, and from your own practice in the game.
100%. Again, these maps are going to be very exciting. We're going to have to see the action itself first, but beforehand, we are going to actually get confirmation that the match is not too long away from us. So just a couple of minutes and we're going to bring it to you all the way here. But for anyone that has not tuned in yet, we again do want to thank the sponsor of the stream of Plausible Gaming as of today right now. And it's going to be the Looking For Group Network, which is a Discord bot. You invite it to your server. And if you're players, if you want that professional system that allows your players to get together and 5-stack into competitive games, it is the perfect service for you and your server, for you and your community. Again, there's no toxicity. It's not going to be long waiting queues that you're used to. It's going to be all good and well, but in the meanwhile, the match is ready, and I think it's time we go and have ourselves a good match of Nuke that we missed yesterday. We wanted Nuke, but we did not get it, so thankfully for the grand final, we are blessed with it. Dragons starting on the T side, Looting Experience on the CT, and well, let the pistol initiate.
So you can wield the trident more effectively. You can get the first blow in. Pistol round starting off, as you mentioned, Looting CT side, no reason to make it complicated in terms of how they're playing it. 5 sets of armor. Obviously, heavy presence towards Ram so far. Multiple Glocks rushing there, but Orcs, the first player to die. Let Me Cry opens up Grand Finals with a kill. Zacharino trades it back. Lambda Core. Lovely to see as we begin to start walking into the A site. Tucked in the CT event. Turns the flash. Some beautiful shots coming through, and this pistol seems like it's over.
There we go. Lambda just getting clutched upon. Lambda going to find himself another victim, but beyond that, 1 kill Chozor is going to close things out, and looting experience good for the opening half. Or at least their pistol again. The economy can now starting to get picked up. We can get better guns. I do wonder if Dragons are going to look to contest it with a Force by Njuki. We see the Zeus in his hands there, which might be a questionable decision, but looting experience had themselves quite a good run. Somehow yesterday was an absolute catalyst when needed mostly, and I'm imagining we can expect to see that from him once more today.
In terms of maps where I would want to be second round forcing, it feels like Nuke is up there with it. So many close angles that you can find. One-shots with a Tech 9, for example. Nade, by the way. Ruins Orc State already. That Deagle struggled to find value with just 34 points of HP to fight with. But of course, the one-shot capability cannot be written off, and so losing experience can't rest on their laurels, else they'll be finding themselves rather embarrassed heading into round number 3.
Keeping himself humble, Trozor is going to hold this red. Ox falls somehow with a long angle. An opening here, but the T side will persist, which might go heavily against him. What a shot from Reline there, and a second as well. An unstoppable force right now, and he wants to enter this secret badly. He's cleared the 2 players here from looting experience and already gained advantage, as now a rotation down into towards this B side. Zacharino will fall, but again, we've seen what Remind can do. Can he hit it for the 3rd as Lambda falls right in his hands?
It's a possibility. Surely doesn't get 3 with an unarmored Deagle. 5 points of health. I mean, it feels like an impossibility, but I'm sure we've all seen the ridiculous happen before. And so again, losing experience cannot rest on their laurels. Up in numbers, most of their guns that they've dropped protected. You keep taking care of, and Sick AF with the flank takes care of the danger. It's awkward to start things out, but they're able to get the round over the line.
Decent damage dealt by Dragons. We can respect again Remind's efforts of those 2 tabs by the Deagle. Absolutely phenomenal as looting experience. The Eco is going to keep on going. We see Petrol on that XM shotgun. A terrifying one, depending on the position you place him in. Be it lobby, be it ramp, be it secret. He can be about as much of a menace anywhere as he pleases. It's down to Dragons, though. Again, the T side are the ones who kind of dictate where the action ends up happening. For now, though, they're going to play it safe. Stick around the silo, outside and lobby. Both theirs to be contested. Looting experience don't seem to push into them too much just yet, and that's what I like from them.
You'd have a pretty terrible time if you did with the XM. Naturally, just able to walk down Sukit for the 1. Generally slow around, as we will often see with these rifles. Orcs, Tech 9, probably struggle to find value, so it's going to be some util monkeying and picking up a fallen comrade's rifle should the need arise. Interestingly, not seeing anything proactive so far out of losing experience, actually. Often what you'd expect to see when considered down weapons. But they seem content to let the Dragons come to them. Step into their own maw.
Oh, good fight here around Garahedge. Remind's going to find Trozor. Great opening once more. Dragons might be able to clap back towards looting, who have now already reclaimed this 2-round lead. And Juki with another. The gun's overwhelming here, but the CT side, even though trying to fight back, and Juki shuts you down. Bullets back to Sunder, and not a single caveat for Dragons, as it's only somehow that can find himself a single. 4 more to stand in his way. 2 on low HP. Plan going down, and Lambda right beneath your feet. There's going to be an opening round for the T side.
Someone gets his drive-by, actually a little bit of kill reward, and of course, keeping the economy of the Dragons earnest, but still 4 alive. That was a commanding rounds taken there. Obviously, giving no chance for losing experience to convert their bonus. Still, a bonus it was. And so, I do believe you've got some amount of economy to bring through firepower. Still, all the damage he took in that round number 2 means that, I mean, FAMAS, 5-7, MP9... it's not as pristine as maybe you'd like, and so still it's Dragons who have a certain amount of momentum here, a certain amount of lead that they might be able to convert. Trozor, not checked, bomb drops, and even though there is no trade, in fact, you picked up the gun, Trozor still finding value, still finding frags, 3 so far for the now Rifler. It's a clean sweep, Lucy experience, daylight robbery.
Trozor's a beast. I mean, this player can't go down if you'll knock him over and over again. Dragons They've won themselves a round. They wanted to reclaim another to equalize out the score point, but they just didn't anticipate a smoke player to be so close by. Somehow helped him out, and that discombobulation caused 4 players to fall in an instant. Petro there, a bit of support from him as well, but in general, it doesn't change the fact that Dragon's already under heat for the very beginning of this match, and Ox, the disconnect here might be causing a bit of a technical pause as of the moment, so hopefully he can reconnect in time. There we go. We're going to give him an extra second, but early aggression here by Looting Experience, and it's worked out in their favor. You can still play this sort of Gambit playstyle at the start of the match, because again, Dragons haven't really adapted to your playstyle, so maybe going and hiding in a nook and cranny every now and then doesn't tend to hurt too much.
I mean, exactly as you mentioned, right? Early game, you can still get away with these teams still feeling each other out, and this is kind of how it goes with pre-mades, right? If you want to pull plays like that, you do need a pre-made team, so make sure you find one through the Plausible LFG network, which is info available at plausible.gg.
Go, just gonna have a bit of a mental reset here. Both these teams, a lot of these 4 rounds already passed us on by quite quickly, and Dragons might not be feeling the best considering they're 2 rounds below. Now that 2-round loss bonus is well incoming, they can go for a force buy here with Tech 9s, possibly pull off a very aggressive play, and even if they lose, a full buy should still be good to be dealt in the following round. But I mean, Looting, it's down to just how well they can temper this type of economy, considering the fact that the bonus is also against you. Gonna have to be very careful before Dragons try to strike back. And Ox still on the trying to reconnect as of the moment. We do not have much of a follow-up of where he might be, but he's going to be here hopefully sooner than later. We're still on Nuke again. I'm hoping this doesn't throw Dragons off guard too much, because Looting Experience, like I said, once they get into a swing and a momentum, they are hardly stopped.
And we were talking about, you know, how you can use toxicity, right, to influence your opponent's momentum, their mentality. Unfortunately, in my experience, the most tilting thing is just when you DC yourself. You're stuck there, waiting for your team to be able to play. It feels like it's your fault, even though you kind of know it's not. And, of course, any sort of momentum taken away from you, even if you didn't have it already, you start to dwell on your mistakes. They begin to fester, become infected wounds. You really don't need that happening, especially this early in the game. And so for the sake of the Dragons, I hope it all does get sorted quickly. It's never the way you really want this type of thing to go.
It does seem like they've ran out of their possible technical timeout here, and Ox is still not in just yet. Guess we're gonna have to wait to see where this goes. Again, this being a beginning here for Dragons might also be a bit mentally exhausting. All of these players have their own thoughts, keep that in mind, so they're just sitting there thinking how they're going to continue into Nuke with already a bit of a it's not the largest lead that Looting Experience have, but again, it's the fact that they've picked it up so very swiftly that's quite terrifying, considering the Dragons, you know, they have staff, they have an esports background. Looting Experience, not so much, but still a very, very formidable opponent.
To be fair, we haven't seen any close rounds at all, it almost feels like. Looting Experience win the pistol with, what, like 1 fatality? They convert their bonus. It's kind of awkward, but still you keep 3 alive. It's chill. Or the anti-eco, sorry. Dragons win their first rifle. Again, 1 person dies. And then Looting Experience, we just have, was it Trozo just out there death matching and outside by Redbox. So I think both teams throwing haymakers so far. Obviously, Looting Experience has a couple more opportunities to, you know, swing first off the back of that pistol, but I don't think Dragons are out of it by any means. I think they're just looking for more opportunities, and they'll have one at least, even though it's not as pristine as maybe they want. A deagle for Orcs, everybody else on Tech 9's a fast round. Not guaranteed, very likely, however.
We'll have to see where they're going to send it. Seems like 8 is going to be the routing as of now. Looting Experience, still a bit of utility. That smoke to at least prevent the rotation around ladder. The Dragons are looking to fake it. The Molly's going to deny the hut push. Good tempered shots, but CKF is going to respond. Juki now off the competition. A couple more through the smoke, and CKF responds in kind as Dragons have been crumbled down 3 players. Only 1 in return. Good trade there. It's going to be imminent. Now Remines all down to him, and he cannot prevail there. It was a good attempt. Dragons took some damage off, and I think that was the major cause.
Yeah, I mean, being, like, blind there on top of the silo. Blind like Daredevil, maybe. Still able to hit the headshot pretty fast. Still able to make that sight hit. Essentially a non-starter. Great utility, I have to say, from Looting Experience. So they made the commit, even though obviously the flashes were good, was just either through a smoke or a molly. Constantly harassed, easily mowed down, and a lovely 4th round taken. Dragons mostly back to superior firepower. Orcs, again, the only person with that financial issue. Surely this one Be a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, Dragons are going to need to clap back, though. This is just not the right beginning. CKF, even yesterday, he's been an absolute initiator of all times now, as Remite is trying to pass on through Zacharino with a shot towards Trozer. All this smoke being cleared by the utility into high angles. Lemmy Cry finds himself an opportunity as well. And again, Dragons, they just can't seem to catch a break.
Everything is going wrong. Spammed through the smoke. Losing members on the outside cross, not able to find any man of Trey back. Somehow, still able to cross this distance. And again, you're only fighting against the Deagle player. You can have so much confidence when swinging. If they don't one-tap you, you get the kill. You don't get that shot. And so it's more players falling for the Dragons. Lambda Core, well, no longer reminds, what can you possibly put together? 1 versus for 49 seconds on the clock, and the bomb lost to you.
Questionable decision here. Remite has a high angle. He's going to find Petro, and this might just be what he needed. 1v1s are going to be his best friend in this case in point, but still needs to push on down towards B. There's a whole plan that can be going and evolving below you somehow right around the corner. He spots you first and is going to react in time. Remite doesn't carry it any further. It's going to be 5 rounds for looting experience. They're off to a good first half. Again, already almost securing a drawn-out split here is certainly a very, very promising beginning. But, you know, Dragons, like mentioned, it's not the end just yet, but they do need to keep themselves a bit more grounded. I feel like, again, it seems like the T side is constantly having to push into the CT side, which, again, not, you can play it safe at the beginning of the round. You don't need to get too hasty. Just give it a bit of time, especially considering that was your major full buy round.
Yeah, I know when I said it was 3-1, it seemed like it was pretty back and forth. Now, 5-1, losing experience, kind of running away with it. Dragons, we'd love to see them find some stabilization soon, but in that last round, for example, Remite, even if he somehow gets that kill in the 1 versus 3, there was full information on his location, a trade more than available from multiple positions. Just not a lot they can do. I feel like chilling out a little bit in the early round so they can stop some of this just like unlucky deaths might be the corrections. Maybe what they're talking about now in their pause. Because the only other option is just like death ball even harder. And, well, we'll have to wait and see, right? Obviously, another half bite. Keeping it low, keeping it chill. Hopefully they can reset their money. Because it feels like the first time we've had 5 premium rifles in the server is only ever on the side of looting experience. Dragons can hope for it in round number 8. But for 7, they're just going to have to roll the dice again and pray.
Yeah, some of the shots did go missed the last time we saw them on those Tech 9s. And again, I feel like isolation is something they're trying to wrap themselves around, which wouldn't be very recommended in a team FPS game, but somehow he's going to go by himself. A lone wolf bites down on Njuki, and that's already 1 gone. Somehow is also an absolute prodigy amongst the rankings here of Dragons, which in the meanwhile, we did swap up the names. It's not looting experience in the lead. We do just want to keep that in mind. Somehow he's going to find himself Zacharino. All of a sudden, looting experience, not the greatest of beginnings. Remite is trying to return them, but what does that matter when Petror still has a stand? Ox, one for himself. Now this A-site under complete bloodshed. A smoke and return towards main, but what are we going to do, Remite? How are we going to get ourselves towards our teammates? Ox, who is just being lit up, going to simply have to accept defeat and carry this gun hopefully into the next round.
That's all you can really do. The clutch seems more than impossible. There's simply no round to put together. So you might as well save through the A4 at the least. Because they're going to be a contact though. Sick AF. Been on fire so far and will continue to be so. With 8-3. Somehow being able to just go fishing so early in the round though is beautiful stuff. Knows that there's a bit of a lower buy. A lot of teams will take that as an opportunity to play safe, to play chill. Not somehow. Walks in. Strips one off the pack, gets out as well, and makes the rest down. Oh, so easy. Basically no threat at any point in. Now 6 for the Dragons, and they're really running away with this nuke.
That's just that CT beginning, it seems like. Dragons already roaring. Good split. But we have seen this from them, I do believe, going towards Ancient as well yesterday, and although they had a very good opening, that second part of the first half did not serve them to be too well. As long as they can keep themselves at least at a somewhat decent tempo, though, looting experience should not be able to come into the second half with a lot of confidence. Now, as we've had another moment to pause and talk, looting experience are going to have themselves once more full buy gun-wise. utility might be a bit lackluster, but hopefully as long as they can save it towards their execution, everything should be fine and dandy.
Feels like we haven't been particularly util heavy anyhow, especially if you go early in the round. This is not going to be too much of a problem, because obviously you try and exchange util back and forth, and Dragons, everybody having a full belt, maybe even some nades dropped in spawn to boot, they are going to be absolutely loaded. And so I feel like maybe something a bit early in the round would be preferable. See what they've got in mind. However, obviously, take a gander at the KDs, do some very stats-based Counter-Strike. Orcs not having the starts of the game that you'd necessarily want 1 and 7. Not quite there yet, of course.
Yeah, taking a look at the current equipment value, it's just uncomparable. We'd have to still consider again that Dragons have not yet fully bought, and actually I'm going to make sure that I'm going to just take over for a second, Spectre, and I'm going to go on face and check which team is which.
Of course. Make sure everything's sorted out. We do have some downtime to fill, so if you haven't already, then we're just going to remind you about our sponsor. PGCS is brought to you by the Plausible Looking for Group Network. The Plausible LFG Network is a community-driven Discord looking for group service designed to fix the matchmaking experience by connecting players to be better squads and streamlining the pre-made process. With thousands of players connected already, the Plausible LFG Network is extending its free early access period. Join players and servers together across PUBG and CS2 with more titles coming soon. Your next squad is just moments away.
There we go, just confirmed it. This is the right team composition. Dragons is the ones losing. On the right side, looting experience are the ones with Sakayev. Very recognized with how he's performed yesterday and continuing that type of performance onto today with such a streak of already 8 kills. The Dragons now full buy, but still very antsy to push into A. Seems like B hasn't been an option yet. Haven't cleared default though, and Trozer and Petrol are going to take full capitalization of it. A bit overwhelmed, the Remind finds Trozer, and that's Raptors. 1 player killed, but 2 still remain, and Dragons might just be able to take a round for themselves until somehow is going to set the standard back on equal footing. Juki and Ox now up in hand, and Juki, he's going to leave his teammate in a 1v2, and again, this off might be one of the worst guns to be handed in a 1v2. Case point, because again, you miss a bullet, you're dead. You hit one, the refrac is bound to come around. They lined up nicely. Oh, this is an opportunity missed. Pistol in hand, Petrol takes a bit of damage, and Ox is just going to retreat.
You're 26 HP. There's just no real way of manifesting, or 9 HP even. Oh, no, 26, my mistake. But again, there's no way of manifesting like any sort of opportunity, even with a rifle in hand. I mean, you mentioned that you miss one shot, you're dead. It's kind of the same with a rifle. Unless you hit the headshot, you're probably just getting traded insta. The 2v2 was not a bad position whatsoever, but it's a great flash and swing out to punish your player walking out of Squeaky. Now Orcs tries to put something together, tries to save through the AWP as well, and at least your opponents won't be able to pick that up, but 7 and 1 here. Just somehow Anko absolutely free flying right now. They've lost 1 round so far, and other than that, it's never even looked particularly close. That round number 8 was the most competitive by far, and even then, I mean, you see that round, you see that attempt at the clutch, it's desperate, right?
No doubt there. Again, it was desperation just reeking from the last player on Dragons, and well, looting experience once more. Great lead, like yesterday. This is Mirage all over again for them. And Nuke is certainly a feeding territory as they step into a map that we have not seen from any of these two teams. Again, and we're just hoping that Dragons need a bit of a warm-up, but matters not inside this round. Juki is going to have to take the first fall and opening contact in the favor of looting.
Of course. Nuki really going to wish he had a chance to play once more, but again, stripped off the pack early. Dragons forced to a step from behind, see if they can trade it back. Doesn't seem so. Let Me Cry, able to take care of Zacharino nice and easy, and even though you get this space over ramp, you simply don't have the bodies to control it. Orc's a lovely shot, but it doesn't exactly tee Remind up for an easy one, put it that way.
Yeah, sadly, a tale is all this time, it seems like. These rounds are whizzing past our heads, and looting experience on the CT side are, well, certainly the best way to be put, unstoppable. Dragons, where's that might that we saw yesterday? A bit lackluster to say the least. Again, we were hoping that Anubis is going to be a different story, but this is a map that we also saw looting experience play on, and they were a whole different beast there as well. A bit of a tactical timeout. I do believe this is going to be 3rd or 2nd incoming from Dragons, depending on how we utilized those when Ox was missing, and there were a couple of passes during the rounds. Either way, though, it's going to be one of the last ones, that's for sure. And well, Dragons, you haven't been able to convert more than one round. This is another full buy, and if you don't find this round, it might also be the last.
And I feel like, 4 to 8, it's really not fantastic. But you can be like, it's T-side nuke, it's not our side, it's not our pick. You can kind of explain it away. In fact, it is your pick, but, such is the way of things. But you can kind of justify it, you can figure out that in the second half, you can kind of come back. 3-9, it's just a little bit more intimidating. So, necessary round for more reasons than one. Posted up, trying to fish out this ramp player. Just a couple centimeters to his left, and you'd have the kill. Elbow spotted. Let Me Cry taken care of. Finally, an opener.
Peeker's advantage going to work out quite nicely. Petro gets flushed out by the Molly, and Ox has expected him. Good read into the player, found himself and his team too already. This is the beginning we needed, a magnum opus or not. Ox has certainly been deliberate. Zacharino going to join in his rankings as Trozer falls in his hands. And now 8-1. All of a sudden, the CT side isn't looking as formidable, but you still have to go through your normals. Ox is going to find him in return. And again, this op has certainly been ringing out loud. Whoa. Another for somehow, though we speak of him, a jump peek into the lobby player. But Dragons have the availability of having themselves a free plant downstairs, and they sure should take it.
Zero reason to feed somehow kills it. It would only tempt him into the clutch, and a player who's been as warm as somehow has, just let him be. Don't even give him an opportunity. It's more than likely to save the orb, you'd figure, but he appears to be looking for at least an exit frag. You'll note so far that Orcs has more than doubled his kills in the game. 2-5 in just this round number 10. Bomb now half-ticked, and if Orcs even wants to commit, then he's got to start going basically yesterday, and appears to be wanting to commit for it. Dark unchecked, he's still walking in. He does have a smoke for it, but surely he's going to be punished.
You gotta respect Remind. Everyone from Dragons have already backed off, and somehow there is valiant of an effort as it was. In the end, it's not going to be yours to take, not here right now. Dragons already recognize how dangerous of a team looting experience is, and at the same time, again, Ox in this round was an absolute need for Dragons to bounce back for a round. Now it's only the matter of question, will they be able to do it for more than 2? A 10-2 split doesn't really sound that good. 9-3, 8-4, still very plausible, but again, you want to get as much rounds on this T side. Yes, they're going to be transferring on to something preferable in the second half, but that should be the... Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, there we go. Remind's going to find Trozer, and it seems like Dragons have started getting adapted. Oh!
Where was this Dragons, 4 or 5 rounds ago? Now, straight back to winning ways by the sounds of things. 4v3. Nade does shuffle up the AWPer as both snipers miss shots. CKF, I don't think has been missing at any point today, however. And so we are in about an even-Steven scenario. Again, Orcs struggle to get as proactive as maybe he'd like, though, with a full bar health.
Gotta be careful with rafters.
Beautiful.
I mean,
this is absolutely beautiful. Lovely backstab. Let Me Cry has been able to slip his way into lobby, and even after this great angle you've taken, now the bomb's dropped. Yuki's begin to flub the kill. He needs to commit. He needs to get that absolutely yesterday. They're finally able to take him down. Somehow able to defend the bomb. And just one peek separates looting experience from a 9th round. It's always somehow at this point. 15-7, man.
Insane. Somehow always manages to do it. 9-2 now. And another round secured for looting experience. All he needed was that bomb, a bit of a hostage to hold against Dragons, and even though there were still some cheeky kills like Zacharino creeping up towards those Raptors, by the end stage, it's going to be a good one here for the CT side. I doubt they're going to be unhappy with the continuation, and now they look to claim this last one. Double digits within this first half is certainly a statement to put up, and well, Dragons recently, as much as they've been looking better, they haven't been looking the best.
Yeah, I mean, that double opener you found, you've got to be converting it. This time, they won't even have that luxury, and somehow is able to find the final opener of the first half. Zacharino able to make the cross into Garage. What can you do with it? Doesn't seem like too much is spotted, checked. Still, however, in control of his life. Trozer tries the pre-fire, but it simply doesn't matter. Who else but somehow to collect yet another. think the wheels are coming off the bus here, Bob.
That's nasty. Ox might be in to have a say for it for himself. Never mind. Somehow has revealed himself once more. There we go. Now it's down to the last two from Dragons facing 3 plants going down. It's inevitable. Good spot for themselves, and the T side now holds the leverage of time, but looting experience, I doubt they are not prepared to handle a situation such as ramps should be covered. You also have that back income, especially from Sick AF as well. Oh no, they're all full 3 committing towards ramps as Lambda and Juki down to where and how they hold this.
Trade out going to be the most important thing here for looting experience. No angles as you mentioned, so there will be a crossfire. Just have to break it with sheer numbers. First one, that's a freebie. Lambda able to take care of him. A double kill from Nuki means that Dragons are at least able to escape with a paltry 3, but I think it's fair to say, Bob, this is probably not what you expected from your own map pick. The first map pick in this best of 5.
It's not over just yet, though. Again, you have players like somehow if you manage to shut them down or you put Ox on a bit more of a pedestal, Dragons can still rise quite high. As we've seen in this round, again, Yuki was given that position to mow 2 players down, and he certainly did it with a lot of gratitude. Now back to pistols, and this one matters a lot. If the looting experience, who are on the T side now, the roles are swapped just for anyone that, so anyone doesn't get confused. If Dragons do end up losing this pistol, looting experience, they're going to further upon that lead, and that's a scary thought for them.
Indeed. To be fair, obviously Nuke is about 55% CT sided. Zacharina able to use that advantage into 1, obviously trade it back, so not as comfortable as maybe you'd like to be. Still the commit down ramp, still a player there to defend. Remind would love to find his voice because Lambda unfortunately has not tucked on the blue box. Here's the audio cues, but not a plant, can't commit to it. Surely this one's a freebie, and of course it should be at least that. Sick AF, that is disgusting.
Oh yeah, I mean, even yesterday he was already nasty with it, but this one, it's a whole new day for him. He prepared a whole new playstyle here going into the grand finals, and ace up his sleeve seemingly because his playstyle is on a whole new level again alongside himself, and somehow they have been terrorizing the side of Dragons. Not to take Petro out of account, of course. These 3, a power trio, now looting experience 10 to 3-7 above. This is a really terrifying spot here that Dragons have to face, and this round might not look the best considering they're on pistols while they're looting with a force by themselves.
Gonna be awkward, but I feel like awkward's kind of in the name of the game here on Nuke. Dragons, obviously no pistol, going to be feeling like they only have the chance for the 1 round. Orcs, again, not the start that you're looking for. Some money for the Galil, but very little remind as well falling. I think, to be honest, if from Dragons, I might just be moving to think about that map number 2 already. This Nuke has been somewhat of a bust. Some great flashes of brilliance, right? Individually, we've seen moments. Team-wise, we've seen moments, but it feels like it's just been Lucy Experience, who every time there's a nice play, have just been able to lock it down a little bit harder somehow. Illustrates my point with yet another kill, and this 11th is surely converted.
Yeah, 2 final standing again. What do you have to lose? Deagle, Zeus, and a USP. Not really much on the line here. You might as well just send it out on a limb. Try to throw at everything at looting experience. The round will most certainly not be won, but damage dealt is certainly a bonus, a cherry on top, and Juki does fall to somehow, and we can already see the result of this round. 11 to 3 is bound to happen, and right now the final player is just trying to cut off the rotation away from this bomb so looting experience don't get away scot-free. But Zacharino, again, this is also a bit of a pseudo-tactical timeout he can give to his team because Dragons right now have not been looking good. And it's sad to say, but again, we're hopeful towards that map number 2 being a bit better unless they're going to pull off... Ooh, shot from Zacharino. We can give him some credit, but by the end stage, we're either looking for one of the best comebacks in Plausible Gaming history or map number 2.
I mean, this is the benefit at the end of the day of best of 5. I mean, we've spoke before, Bob, about the rest of these games being best of 1s. I mean, we'd have this game over in a jiffy. We'd crown our champions. We'd all be going home. Thankfully for Dragons, though they have to play into their opponent's map pick, then they still have another chance to keep playing and keep playing after that, right? So they don't have to write it off. The entire series, that is. They can just, wipe the sweat off their brow, take a deep breath, reset, heading into map number 2, and still be feeling relatively okay for your chances in this best of 5. Still playing for Nuke, however. A great Molotov, full burn, slam decor. Somehow, yet another opener. Nuki able to steal one of Somehow's moves and take care of him with it. This round, still under play. Great job taking care of Trozer, and suddenly losing experience on the back foot once more.
So KF, always good to catch up. Juki there, sadly, not going to persist any longer. A bit of head space given to both these teams. Smokes have dissipated and everyone's taken a grand role in their position. Let Me Cry here could be a great opening towards this A, which the rest of his comrades are looking to set themselves into. Remind and Ox good for the flank, but again, they need to catch looting experience before that plant goes down. Zacharino shut out by the smoke, trying to HE himself into clear space so he can shoot at them as the plant is going down. This might be greatness. Does he cut it off? No. Even then, Zacharino still falls. Let Me Cry's reaction is going to be phenomenal as the final two, one exposed. Where are we looking? Towards those vents, a bit overexposed to KF. He's gonna fall. 2v2 now, equal standards, one more. And double swing here. Let Me Cry's low on HP. Petrol is gonna shut Remind, find one more. And all left down in the hands of Let Me Cry. He's stuck himself to that cubby on A for so long. Now an AK in hand and needs to clutch things out. A jump peek to bait out. More time to be wasted. Ox is trying to chase him down. Does he have the kit? No. And I think this round, even though maybe won by Dragons battle-wise, the war is going to be for looting experience as they have match point.
Yeah, with a kit, that's a very different round. Unfortunately, Orcs has to commit as hard as possible. And I think not going with the double swing as well. Maybe they're just one of the extra milliseconds that would have made it a possibility. 9 in a row needed just to get to extra innings. That's not feeling particularly comfortable. And again, this is a round where Dragons, they play well. They have a numbers advantage. But it's a hero moment from losing experience like we've seen time and time again. Obviously so consistently somehow. Who puts the round right back into dangerous territory. Who is able to win out the round once more. And this has got to be absolutely maddening for the Dragons, who keep playing well, but keep on getting taken care of anyway.
Oh, these beginnings are just so much more grim when Sikev steps up to the task somehow as well to help him out. Dragons once more now to their final two pillars to deny looting experience of their regulation, but Petro doesn't fall for tricks, or does he? And Juki, at least he's going to find that refrag. Zacharino to set the standard more even, but the rotation towards this B is going to be inevitable. Molly to back yourself up and make sure that the entry from vents isn't going to be as easily made. Smoke to make it easy, but Sikev is waiting for you as you jump into his open hands. Zacharino, he has to do it this once just to keep Dragon surviving, but I think this is going to be an extermination. Zacharino 1v1 still making it look possible. Time ticking against you once more. You don't have the kit, so this is going to be of the essence. Can you catch Let Me Cry on a rotation, or will he catch you off guard? Around the pillar, ring around the rosy. Shots connect, just barely got scrappy, but looting experience with a dominant first map.
Absolutely commanding coming through there. Dragons did not know what hit them. 13-3 in control here. And I know we saw one-sided games yesterday, but I think we kind of figured coming in here it would be a little bit more competitive in our grand final. Of course, plenty more maps left to go, but if I am losing experience, I'm feeling pretty chuffed about that performance.
100%. And again, Dragons, you know, it's map number 1. That's why we love the grand finals. More opportunities, more second chances to express yourself. So even if Nuke wasn't it, that's why Anubis, you can show what you really have. Otherwise, you're going to be up against Series Point, and that's a bit too much pressure for even some other esports teams to handle. In the meanwhile, we do want to mention that PGCS is brought to you by the Plausible Looking for Group Network. The Plausible LFG Network is a community-driven Discord looking for group servers designed to fix the matchmaking experience by connecting players to better squads and streamlining the pre-made process. With thousands of players connected already, the Plausible LFG Network is extending its free early access period. Join players and servers together across PUBG and CS2, with more titles coming soon. Your next squad is just moments away, and sign up now for early access at plausible.gg. So again, thank you so much to the Plausible Looking for Group Network. But this match, well, it certainly wasn't close. We're hoping for a bit more even results as we head to a short break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back.
The chain straight on it. Yeah, I got a different motive. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
They be like, really, you got a milli from doing something silly? I'm like, chilly, I've been killing for decades now, Billy. Well, maybe like several years, but who's counting really? I just know how to turn something silly into a milli. Got a lot to say, and a lot need to hear it. You don't quit today, we don't stop, no, we feel it to the top. Yeah, we change our whole world, yeah, we steer it. Getting lost in the things that make us all worth hearing on. I'm the first one to turn up, learn stuff, but mostly I'm just in the lab getting work done. Cause the bills on the first, they still worth some. I never forget being broke, man, it hurts, son. But not as bad as not having any purpose. I took stabs, this and that, and it's working. But I still grind every day for that thirst. It's a curse being first, yeah, still gotta get my work done.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motive. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn way. Ain't nobody tell me shit, I'm on top of it. Writing hits that make other people feel like writing hits. We gon' get every little goal that we wanna get. Never quit, we don't even know what it means to quit. Write it down, what you want, what you need, what you see. Everything that you wanna be. Put it out in the world, that's your destiny. In your mind, what you need is that believe. I'm gonna make it to the top. Cause I never stop, my own switch doesn't have enough. I think it's broken, I think it's lost. I guess that's why I never take a loss.
New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see. Don't give up, just believe, and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see. Don't give up, just believe, and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you're bound to win.
Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion in leaving behind adequate. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen then. You could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The high life is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase on. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you could do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your worth go up like inflation. And start chasing your dreams, stop waiting.
New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see. Don't give up, just believe, and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you're bound to win. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see. Don't give up, just believe, and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you're bound to win.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain.
I hope you didn't wait for too long because we're going to be continuing this grand final. For any of you that were not here earlier, map number 1 finished in quite this sad ending. I'll be completely honest. It was very grim. Dragons could not get more than 3 rounds, and of course, it was won by LE. Looting experience 13-3. Really good start. That's how they showed Mirage yesterday. As now we head on to Anubis, a map that we did see Looting Experience play and win out as the decider yesterday. But before we step ahead of ourselves, I'm still Puffle Bob. I'm still joined by Spectrian and Spectrian. On the go, opinions about Anubis?
Love the map. I think it's really interesting to play. I think anything that kind of breaks away from the standard, I love. And of course, being a little bit more on the CT side, being so focused around how you're kind of rotating on the T side, where you're kind of setting up into like water space, especially. I think it's so interesting. I do think that being in and out of the pool, it probably should replace Dust 2. But then again, I'm just a Dust 2 hater.
Oh, finally, someone who understands me. I have been. Oh, you are perfect.
Bro, I don't want to get AWP'd in my LM games. I peek anywhere, I'm getting AWP'd. I don't want to play that. It's not fun.
It isn't. And Anubis is just it's peak. Anubis, Nuke, give us more of it. Dust, get out of here. This is what we need. This is the type of people we need in the community. Jokes aside, though, again, we are in the grand final. $10,000 on the line. So both these teams, I'm hoping they're back in their prime headspace because Dragons, they really need to lock in. Again, the previous map just wasn't it. Again, I feel like fundamentals, everything was kind of missing. And, well, we're about to see if they can back it up going into Anubis as our second map. Let's take it in to the second map where, again, Looting Experience also have the opportunity of finding themselves series points.
Be pretty nice to get that this early in. We were sitting down, buckling ourselves in for a full 5-mapper, like 5-hour undertaking. But if that nuke was any indication, we might not be here for so long at all. Reminder, lovely opener, dinked up, 12 HP, forced it back, but still alive, still a threat, and one looting experience we'll have to contend with. Plant can go down here on A, but what can we actually do with it? How do we stop this retake? Because already the forces are marshalling the other side of things. Petro were one tapped, Orcs able to find that. The Julies do swing second, but no less lethal as they do find the tray. 2 members yet living for looting experience. They need to be pristine, but it is messy. It is sick AF, and it is kills now equalizing. Now for looting experience, we need to get these Julies in position. Sick AF! Where's that come from?
Honestly, I don't think that's a fair question to ask. Because Spectrian, we saw him in the previous map. He is a force. He is insane. Sick AF. Man, I love this guy. I'm going to get him into my comp matches so I can finally climb out of Gold Nova. But yeah, no doubt there. Sick AF, dual Berettas, pistols, Glocks, whatever you put in his hands, he's going to find bloodshed one way or another because that's what he thrives for in these environments. As Looting Experience, Pistol Wild is theirs. Dominantly so. They get the plant as well. Entirety of the site. Juki's trying to challenge it with a deagle, but Petrol is reading him like a book. Somehow threw the smoke onto Lambda, and all of a sudden it's all crushed down upon Dragons who are going for a large flank, a retake from behind. The smoke is a bit difficult to get through, and I think there's a bit of sound cues. Ox is on their sick. Is going to find Let Me Cry. Not for much longer. That Trozor is going to make him fall. And a couple of shots here. Zacharino, scrappy. Again, body shots with that block don't really help to stick around. Remind going to find another 2v1 now, and Dragons 10 HP to rely upon.
Still, it's not like the other side of healthy somehow, like 15, Petro at 54. If you wanted to go for it, you only need to collect 3 bullets or so on the body. But it seems like Remind just rather just keep through the primary weapon. I don't mind the push through the smoke with the deagle, even if it is a bit... It's bold, right? Yeah. It's brash. But getting your player spammed through the smoke as well, just unlucky. Lovely attempt at the refrank. But I don't know. Walking through the smoke on your own, I wasn't quite expecting. I thought it would be a little bit more synced up than that. Again, you get good value from it. You get 1, almost 2. And we get to see it again here, but it just, when you're getting 1.5 and you're already like 3v5, it just doesn't smack the same as if you're 5v5, right? So, Dragons, still 0-2 losing experience, the driver's seat, but Dragons so far keeping it close.
Keeping it close. And for any of you that are tired of losing games, the best players from pre-mades are from pre-mades and don't play with randos. So why aren't you? Forming squads from scratch is a nightmare. We solved this at Plausible. Join the Plausible LFG network and unlock your potential. Learn more at plausible.gg and get a look at Njuki here, finding Petrol or that Deagle. Again, absolute menace. But Sick AF, you can always rely on him.
Sick F, obviously playing second fiddle to somehow in terms of the overall impact, but I felt like in terms of the hype moments, there was no one else to turn to. 5-1 so far. Just ridiculously good. Anytime it's called upon, there to answer. And able to do it in style, right? Still, Dragons, even if they don't have somebody essentially just spin bossing around the server, it's still in a 4 versus 4. Remind still has that premium weapon. See if you can pick up one from Petra as well. See if you can't turn this into an opportunity to finally get some momentum on your side. That pendulum long since been in the favor of losing experience. Dragons would love to have possession for just a second.
Remind wants it. He's taking a look in the right direction. A nice flick to his 6. Right, just to find somehow tries with another one for himself, but it's always Dragons here. They managed to find themselves in a rare occurrence of a 2v1 in their hands. Pistols in hands, and Sikaev has bypassed them too. Flick to the left. Can he find it through the smoke? Now the Glock in hand, not the best to find it. He has the headspace. Go for the reload. What are we doing? He's going to stick himself in a corner. Not the best pinch to be in, especially against considering you have low HP, even lower, barely on his feet. 7 HP, and even then, the chivalry approach. He does not want to fight Zacharino on better odds. He's going to put this pistol right where it belongs.
Doesn't matter if he's got a Kalashnikov or a pea shooter. It feels like Sikaev can do no wrong. The Glock to finish off the clutch. And as in terms of how to play a 1v2, that was a pretty inventive way. Just pushing the spinning like a Beyblade. And able to isolate the fight in the end onto Zacharino. Sikaev is a monster. There's a reason he's been the one we're focusing on. Because there's nobody else in the server out of the 10 we got in front of us who's doing stuff like that. Dragons, at the end of the day, did not invest heavily. They've got an AWP, they've got the rifles, but the same could be said of losing experience in the 50-50 scenarios. Bob, we know how that's been working out.
Don't mention it. Do not mention it. I mean, 3-0 right now, looting experience. They're off to once more a very, very butchery beginning towards Dragons, and there it is. Ox is back on an op. Ironically, the name just fits this gun too. So, right, perfect fits. Sikaev. It doesn't seem like he wants that opening kill to go in the favor of Dragons. Looking for the refrag early on and trying to capitalize around Boach. Lambda here might be his first opposition, but we've seen Sikaev. He's certainly a reckoning force. Going to swing through smoke, but Lambda just advantageous enough to clear the second player from looting.
Sikaev taken off the board finally. It's got to feel good if you're Dragons. The Danger Man removed. But still 3 very capable players left to assail, and they're all in one position. An unwelcome surprise for Lambda Core. Nade at least softens them up, but Flashbang forces him back, and still no real info about what is there. He's going to not have to deal with too much, actually. Orcs is there, gets his one, somehow gets it back, as does Trozor. 2 versus 3, and what was a safe round for the Dragons is no longer.
Ooh, missed. Somehow, we're not used to that. Trozor is going to clean 2 right before going out, and oh, it's so close, but Zacharino, another one to double down around that main approach. At the bomb, there we go, should be good for it. He picks up that op to convert into the next round as well, so no money goes wasted. And an opening round by Dragons. Didn't take them as long, and looting experience now might seem to have found a bit more of an opposition going towards Anubis, but undoubtedly so. Still strong, although even considering they're 3 rounds, or rather 2 rounds ahead, their economy certainly doesn't seem to emulate that.
I mean, a lot of these rounds have been relatively close, have been coming down into the clutches, you know, low number scenarios. It's not been the same as Nuke, where it feels like we had a couple close rounds, but mostly just like one-sided sweeps. We've been battling tooth and nail here for every single iota of progress here on Anubis. And that does mean the Dragons are able to leverage the economy a smidge more now when they get some sort of early progress. Obviously, getting those opening kills is the important thing here, but there's one thing we know, losing experience, so able to battle back from behind, so Dragons have to do their best not to rest on their laurels. Remind will not an easy double kill, as helped out by Zacharino somehow. Tech9, all he needs for a double, Nate triple kill, perhaps he swings out. And the USP of Orcs goes down. Again, low number scenarios, it doesn't matter. 1 versus 2 now stepping out from the smoke, but ultimately 3 is all he'll get. But Dragons, they can never feel confident in a round.
My goodness, somehow someone needs to put a leash on this guy. What the hell was that? Tech 9 rushing and barging, finding 3, and then dodging behind the pillar while being shot at. Next, he might be even considered Neo from the Matrix. Reminds and Zakarino, they gave their team enough of a heads up to where Looting Experience could not come back with a single sole player, but even then it came down to being a nail-bitingly close round. As now, though, Dragons, what I would say closer to Looting Experience than we've ever seen them since the beginning of Nuke, and an opportunity to possibly even equalize out the score.
They'd like that.
Yeah.
And it is more than a likelihood. Easy in crunching this mid pressure. Barely damaged out back. In fact, none at all. And if you're losing experience, you've lost all your upgraded pistols. I think they're a team who can make miracles happen. With Glocks, unarmored Glocks, I would be surprised. Dragons equalize their score from Nuke in far fewer rounds, and this is the Dragons we came to see, right? This is the Dragons we thought we'd have on Nuke on their own pick. But all it takes is the CT start here on Anubis, and finally, it feels like a proper grand final on our hands.
There we go, proper grand final. Map number 1 never happened, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into a best of 4, it seems like, if those were to exist. But a bit of a technical timeout. It does seem like we're just going to have a moment for not only these teams to take a breather, but whatever the issue in the background might be to get solved as soon as it possibly can be. In the meanwhile, of course, we can also talk about what is bringing you PGCS, and that is the Plausible LFG network. Server owners, you're done babysitting voice rooms. No more moderators getting dragged into every argument, no more dead channels, and no more begging for growth. The Plausible LFG bot handles everything. Auto voice rooms that create and delete themselves, squads, hosts get full control so your mods stay free, stat-based roles that gamify your server and increase chat activity, plus every LFG post blasts your community across our entire network so new members pour in. Less work for you, way more fun, and active members for your Discord. Install it free at plausible.gg and watch your server turn into a thriving pre-made machine.
One person who's not thriving, Zakarino, naded down to 14 HP before the round even started. Gonna be kind of hoping there's more of a chance to play, but you boost up and you're taken care of. Nuki now dead. Lucy Experience looking to take back the lead. Break us from this equilibrium state we found ourselves in. Zakarino to struggle to trade it back, right? Again, 14 points of health. So tricky. So mid is going to have to be seeded for the most part. Dragons buckle down on their sights, but it is in fact the low HP player who's able to take care and Let Me Cry, tuck his tail, and escape mostly safely.
For the long run here, we have ourselves still a lot of calmness right before the storm, and CKF is going to strike like thunder, find himself Zakarino. Learning experience again, there's 2 players you have to be really careful about, or rather 3, Petra or CKF, and somehow both of those 2, the latter mentioned, they've been already off to a streak. They're going to have themselves an entry. Petra falls, but somehow instant there on the retaliation as Learning experience not only find themselves a player of above, mostly they trade out that man gout for the granted access of this A, or rather B point.
Lambda.
Oh.
No chance to play. That's bloody snappy. Orc's able to at least stop the CKF over peak, and then Nade clears the close space, at least in theory. Rounds, playable, but his location noted, not having the 1 taps. Well, he will now, but still. Players tuck tight will be able to trade each other. And so trying to bait a peak so far, not working. Both in the same corner. He does see if he expects that or not. He clears the wrong way. Shot in the back. Losing experience back in the driver's seat. And I feel like this round all boils down to this over peak. We see from Zakarino, he's 14 points of health. He gets his 1, and he's fiddling with utility. He's trying to drop a molly. Instead, just steps straight back into the firing line, easily taken care of, as we see here. And that lets Lucy Experience back into the round. You've got to be kicking yourself after a mistake like that.
After Looting Experience had a real taste of Dragons on that equalization, it seems like they've been treating this entire matchup a bit more diligently, which we can respect, right? They're not swinging so carelessly. Let Me Cry's got to take heavy damage. Oxen return as well. That's Opper. Your Opper that needs to be extremely careful now going around these corners. But mid-contention, Waters and Bridge have a lot of importance inside Anubis as in its core, and right now CKF recognizes that more than everyone. He's going to approach E-Box, just wait for the smoke to disappear so he can get himself more of a surefire way to at least take a lot of these initiations, I would say, single-handedly. right now, Dragons, they're starting to feel pressure even though looting experience are applying none.
That's a way the AWP especially can work. The enemy, you haven't seen it, now you felt it. Somehow it's an opener. CKF compounds the problem. Numbers disadvantage heavy in these sites. It's going to have to be pristine rifling. Instead, it's a windy day, CKF. I mean, it's looking like Pulp Fiction out here, but he'll take that gift any damn day. And the remaining Dragons hide, turn tail, and run.
Bomb going down. Ox. Great retort somehow. At least it's a beginning, Dragons, but this one might just be a bit too late. Look at the economy here. Remind on $0, 350 on Juki. The rest of the players not getting much past it. And Ox and Lambda, the best move undoubtedly here is going to be just to save that M4. And op in hand is certainly going to be an anchoring gun or two into the following round that you can still try and convert with, but it's not looking like the greatest won this one here. And for now, we're just going to have to let it rest and hope that we don't get hunted down. Lambda certainly hears something around him, but I don't think looting know of his whereabouts. Ooh, this could be huge, actually. If he takes out Let Me Cry. He's being patient. Oh, they're dropped right into him! They tried Goomba stomping him. Give him a break.
I mean, he's able to trade out at the very least. Very close to getting a second kill, but 3 points of health. All the separated Dragons there from holding on to their M4, but when all is said and done, they'll just be able to save through the AWP. Oh, it's so ugly from Zacharino. Again, it's a mistake, an uncharacteristic one from him. But on the moving player, I mean, it's CS players and moving targets, right? It happens. Now, some pistols to support the AWP of Orcs. If you don't get something, really, yesterday, then this should just be one to forget. Lose the experience, though. Still a chance for them to trip up. Oh, wait, Let Me Cry's bonding. Uh-oh.
I mean, what are you to do on pistols? You have Ox, who carries that glass cannon, but the variety of guns here simply might not be enough to carry it. The Deagle, though, never underestimated in the hands of players like Zacharino again. He certainly has been quite the menace in the previous map when passed down that hand cannon, but even though the score doesn't replicate it, some of these rounds have still been close. Looting experience once more to try and capitalize upon this lead, and especially the economic state. What a shot, but it's going to be right into the foot of CKF, and that might come back to bite you the dearest, Ox. He's going to... Ooh, close one again. Does manage to evade it, though. Dragons are on all 5 players still.
Test now for the site once more. P250 close up. Will be spotted, will be cleared. Trozor able to find his one, and the USP finds similarly little. Lambda cores, though, a little bit louder. Oh, quick scope. Looked like it was on target, but the reattempt is a little bit too bold. Sick AF able to take care of that, and USP 1v4. If that came through, I would probably eat my hat, but thankfully for my headgear, none such will appear. And Dragons, they reached their 3-round limit, it feels like. Losing experience straight back in the driver's seat. They rattle off 3 of their own, and now a half best case scenario for the Dragons tied up.
Look, I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but the positive side here is that Dragons have already reached the quota they had in the previous map. That's the bright side of it, but they still need to take a couple of extra steps if they want to win out this map, and looting experience are not making it easy. But the stressful part of being on those pistols is now out of the way. You have full guns, you can actually fight back. Trozor is going to feel the blunt side of that as his HP is reduced to 21. Now, again, Dragons, they have shown to looting experience they can't be underestimated, especially when Njuki is going to be the first one to pop up on towards that kill feed, and Remind is certainly being tempted into swinging into small here, but again, there's no confirmative information, so simply he has to rely on that flick, which he finds. Petrol instant on the refrag. The entry here allows him to get a second, and where's the communication? Zacharino just doesn't respond. Ox is thankfully there to keep it in mind, and Dragon's still a player above, and a second one as well, as it's all down to Trozor on that op.
Unfortunately, when you had Trozor and one more lit solo, you need your high HP player to be the hero. You needed them to play chill, maybe even bait you, but instead goes down after one. You simply don't have the HP for this clutch. It would have to be 3 instant headshots, and the Sharks smell your blood in the water. Yuki the one to take a bite first, and Dragons, much better from them. They go slightly aggressive on several lanes. They're able to take some of these fights without exploding, and it feels like as well. They're beginning to settle in their nerves. I do think there's been more than a couple times where they're in a perfectly playable scenario, a perfectly guaranteed kill, essentially. But they make very, very rookie mistakes, and for that are being punished. It feels like those nerves are beginning to settle now. We're converting some of these smoke pushes that should never be finding kills. And now here in round number 11, they can make this half a really successful one for themselves and break the economy of losing experience heading into the final round of the half.
Somehow going to position himself towards what tends to be a bit of a pre-fire around this small pillar on A, but again, still has to be patient. Not backed up by many players again. A lone wolf here standing against the players of Dragons, trying to hold down an entire site. KF and Petro are going to boost themselves up around Bridge. We did see this didn't work out the last time, but again, it's down to how Dragons hold it. Yuki might not have a single clue of what's coming to him because CKF is going to be on the opposite side of this gate, just waiting for the swing from the CT player who's remaining patient. Somehow mollies towards him, and HE as well. Causes 20 damage, a slap on the wrist, but for now he can remain patient.
Indeed. No reason to go for an overpeak. Simply wait for your cue, wait for your commit.
Oh.
And finish it off. Lovely shot there from Nuki. Let Me Cry trades it back. Both AKs finding blood. Mid stages of the round. Lambda Core not quite perfect with the crosshair placement, but still enough to get some information. Cake, Molly, that's going to be unpleasant for Orcs, who's still able to find his one. Now realizes he's assailed from multiple angles and takes care of it. Let Me Cry, dead. Patroa, 1 versus 2, has to make sound because of the time, but he knows he's walking into a double setup. And 2 often an unlucky number. Knife out will confirm his demise. Dragons get their 5th and losing experience now in a financial black hole.
And we have to give credit where credit is due. This is a large improvement here by Dragons. They're not only closing in on looting experience, but could still make it a drawn-out split, which, compared to the 10-2 we witnessed on Nuke, is certainly a lot better of a beginning, and especially if they're going to find themselves more comfortable on the T side. Again, we still need to see how comfy both these teams are on the opposing sides. The looting experience on that CT seemed extremely solid on Nuke, but again, there weren't too many rounds of Nuke either way, so we can't really make much of a prediction here. Good boost by Let Me Cry, and Yuki is going to set himself back towards that quarter we saw earlier. Remind pushing deep towards Waters to try and take an early challenge, but it is not passed down as looting experience seem to respect it.
I like the idea to go for the early play. You get some information, but if you don't actually find anything, you're terrified of the reaggress. Oh no, utility's out. You get the spot. Molly drop. The people are pushing it anyway. The spray, good for 1. Somehow able to take care of it. Lambda Core needs to batten down the hatches, but instead somehow cleans his clock. Minute left on the bank. Numbers advantage no longer for the Dragons or losing experience either. But Plant able to go down. 3 versus 3. Weapons to be collected. Somehow got 1 in hand.
Well, for a moment, somehow was holding that smoke, unsure of where to throw it. The second Ox finds a shot. He is certain of where now, and somehow is going to find his kill. But Remind elsewhere. We saw him just take out Petro with our own eyes. Now a swing here by Zaccarino to make sure that it's Dragons in the lead, and Dragons with the finishing touch within this first half. A coup de grace by Zaccarino. Headshot, a bullet between the eyes of Trozer, and a defuse right around the quarter as well. Good ending here for Dragons. They're going to equalize out the score for one final time on their CT side within regulation as we head into the second split. Now wondering who's going to be able to overtake who, because, I mean, there is an opportunity where Dragons could be above looting.
It's a very real possibility, especially, as we've mentioned, it feels like at length now on a map like Anubis. But I feel like that last round was probably sketchier than you'd like for Dragons. You know you're against a weak buy, but we let our opponents walk all the way through mid. Yes, you get the molly down to, slow them down, but they show they don't respect it, and a smoke could easily put an end to that plan. You're able to take care of 1 with your player watching, but your Kate player doesn't swing out, obviously doesn't get anything. That's really not the way you want your defense to go. That being said, again, all in the past now, you can put it behind you, and speaking of a weak start for the defense, unfortunately Trozer can't connect too much with his opening volley. Yuki, I guess, a smidge softened out. But on the pistol, it's either a headshot or it ain't.
That's very true. 3-stack compact around E-box now making their entrance. A flash to support them. Petro, smart move. Doesn't look to contest. He's going to back off, wait for his comrades to come on in. The plant is going down, though. And it doesn't seem like there's much of a kit here. Looting experience only have 1 to use. Dual Berettas on CKF. We've seen him do demonic things in the past, and once more he tries to make it happen, but Ox is now on that returning side. Lambda on support, and Dragons are howling as looting experience. They're down to
nice.
1. Look at Ox wanted to shank him.
Oh, tries. But the fact that they got the confidence to do something like this is such a great sign, right? The first time in this series, I believe, where Dragons have been properly in the driver's seat. They get their pistol off the back of a tied half, and we can finally see what the Dragons can do. Now they have some proper control, what they have some proper runway. Obviously, investing all they can. 3 MAC-10s. They're looking to make some money here. Losing experience, look to shut it down on the long-range fights with a couple of Eagles, but the risk factor simply not there so far.
Remind, gonna set Trozer to his grave. Good HE to follow. Make sure that refrag isn't as easily put down by somehow who takes heavy damage, walking away with a very fatal injury. CKF elsewhere, Zacharino falls in his hands. Good opening here, and somehow just out of the smoke. Unexpected, but that's what matters most. Lambda try to reevaluate for it. MAC-10 is dealing damage, but it runs out of bullets, and Let Me Cry is going to take you out in swift fashion. Now 2 players from Dragons trying to go towards this rotation, and it's still a very possible round. You take a look at the HP from Let Me Cry, and somehow, and it's certainly not looking possible.
You lose a round like this, and you're going to be absolutely sent. Aggressive peek from Nuki. Oh my... Let Me Cry, and somehow put together a couple of absolute barn burners here. Orcs now a 1v2, but a winnable one. 27 points of HP between the 2 opponents. And with the fire rate of the MAC-10, get your crosshair around them. You're going to have an easy elimination. Both players coming into his field of view. 1 eliminated. Second swing has to be pristine, and it simply isn't. Orcs gets a little bit nervous. I don't think that's the way Dragons wanted their second round to go, but at the end of the day, a point's a point.
We're going to have to see if Looting Experience, they've dealt so much damage when on their eco buys. How much are they going to be able to put up once they're actually fully stacked and loaded with utility and guns? Guess that's the narrative we're heading into within this round. Dragons, though, good enough to overtake and dethrone Looting Experience. This is the first time, or one of the rare times, we've seen them in such a position. We're hoping they stay at it for as long as they can, as it might be crucial in order to win out the second map, which is not their pick, but again, seeing what Looting Experience did on Dragons' comfortable one, you know, you certainly want to return the favor.
See if it materializes or not. Obviously, the amount of damage they took in that last round does mean that they can't be as proactive as they like financially speaking. Investing into 3 MAC-10s now seems very prudent, considering how much they actually were able to keep through. And I suppose how much they got in terms of that kill reward as well. That final 1v2. Rather nice. Utility in try and punish a pillar player. I don't believe there's anybody home to receive. And a very patient round being played so far for the red team here. Dragons, a very light knock there before they reroute towards water and try and test Trozer and Petua.
Oh, good. Molly there on towards default. Smoke there to deny your vision. Somehow is still going to persist on your 6 now. The entry here is made so much more difficult by these angles asserted by Looting Experience. And while you just can't seem to catch a break, Alex is going to give you a bit of space here. And Zacharino holding the backside as the plant is going down. Dragons now clutched inside this site. Let Me Cry, and somehow again 2 terrifying foes. CKF coming from this forward side. And he has himself a low HP opponent. Should be free for the taking, but the pre-fire here it goes. Punish Zacharino, though, is going to keep it all in a clutch, and he finds them one after one. A tyrant in hands, and a round back for Dragons as they're maintaining lead.
No Bogdan's Law for Lambda Court. I believe that was 4 HP, looking to find a way to find value with that AK. So able to soften up the player, and so when Zacharino finds himself in a 1 versus 3, it's a blessing that somehow and Sick AF are both lit to all hell. All it's got to do is land a couple body shots with the A1S. And the Dragons reach 9. Losing Experience. Still an absolutely silent defensive side. Trozo next to pick up the scout, but into the AWP. It just doesn't feel like a particularly great deal, does it?
No, it doesn't. Certainly doesn't. Or somehow, though, not even going to play the round through. Now he's just going to have to lean on back, give maybe comms, or even then, just be quiet for the rest of the round. Mentally, that seems a bit draining, not being able to do anything considering the amount of potential this player has. As of the moment, though, Dragons, they've been looking golden. New era for them, it seems like. Well, looting experience. What's the response here? A scout and 3 pistols, like mentioned. It just seems uncanny.
It really does. Slips totally unbeknownst here. Any sort of retake you put on, I mean, is it even worth it? Is it better just saving the armor? The question to be answered in a second, I suppose, as the site will be knocked on and found empty. Nobody home. Plant goes down, and while they begin to shift, it doesn't look like it's shifting towards any particular committal. Unless Lambda Core went down there, I don't think there's any reason to change up. And it will continue to be holding outside space by those things, looking for exits more than anything else. They know their chance in the round is slim, but taking away a gun, keeping the economy of the Dragons healthy, would be in their best interest. Nuki, brash, and rightfully punished.
Rightfully so. It was a valiant effort, but what does that matter when the result isn't yours to favor? The bomb is going to tick off. Again, once more, a bit of a secondary tactical timeout here by both these teams as they can actually get a moment. Let Me Cry is going to find Ox. Good one, but he's still exposed, and Lambda's going to clean him, going to wipe him clean. 10-6 now. Dragons 4 rounds ahead of looting experience, and a completely different story as to how we saw Nuke. Again, just a question of what went wrong here and why are looting experience finding themselves as comfortable as they did on Nuke. Is maybe Dragons just, have they done their homework on looting experience in their semifinals yesterday and how they performed on Anubis? Maybe now showing that that analytical side of the team is still performing with prowess.
I mean, both teams appear to be trading picks, pretty dominant fashion. Nade used to blow the smoke, but again, nobody home. Let Me Cry, sick AF. A particularly strong Nuke here on Anubis, less so. They're going to need to find their voices once more, though, as they have rather unwelcome visitors. See how they can respond to that if indeed the commit does come through. Nuki fishing for any overstep. But I think one thing we have seen from Dragons is a little bit of a slower style of play. Minute 10, when they decide to start dropping flashes, start trying to force a reaction, and commit to the hit.
Not a single body to be scattered across the map just yet. Surprising again, we're having to face the consequence that everyone's going to be going into a full team battle, and it's only the most brutal one to walk out on top. Again, there's still players ready to hold it by themselves, but looting experience don't have it all. They have this stretched out roster. Petra on the opposite side of the map of where Dragons are looking to approach this from. Somehow is going to pick up on Ox, and 2 from Dragons have already bent the knee now. 3 players in 30 seconds. It's already starting to look like a bit of a give it up attempt. Zacharino Lambda, though, you can always count on them. Trozer going to find one of the 2. Low HP on Zacharino 2. Bomb incoming. You can't deny it nor cut it in half. Trozer's trying to do his best, HE in hand, but it's been passed to the low HP player. Zacharino's going to commit to it, and now time ticking against looting experience, but also players, as it's all in the hands of somehow.
Op is going to mean that the HP of Zacharino is significantly less of a factor. USP going to be attempted to whichever attempt it could, and walks out ugly spray from Zacharino, but you don't care one jot. 11 rounds down for the Dragons in an incredibly sloppy round, but you'll take a round any way you can. 2 off from completing your opponent's pick. 13-6 victory feels like a likelihood right now. Losing experience, at least maximum loss bonus, means they can get something through, even if it is just armor, rifle, what utility you can scrounge up, right? But again, when we're this late in the game, like, they're having the additional utility has got to feel so nice. Any sort of long round at all is going to bleed out all the delaying opportunities of losing experience. Dragons will have their pick of the litter as to which lane of the map to assail. So watch for them, very likely not going for anything too aggro. They just have no reason to.
Oh, this is a scary spot. I mean, looting. Again, I really am curious as to how this change of pace came about, but does it matter? Again, overall, it is just down to the result, and Dragons now showing the type of ambition we would love to see going into this grand Again, the equipment value here is still up by about 7k, give or take, on the side of Dragon. They've been doing so good, and certainly with that type of performance, they can pat themselves on the back with a better buy. Again, I said this already yesterday. I'm going to say it again. This free camera stuff incoming from the production side of our crew is just beautiful. As in the meanwhile, though, 6-11, a round away from match point of looting experience. If they want to deny this round, it's a dire need that they claim it. Otherwise, I'd even claim that the map is over.
It kind of feels like it is, right? I mean, I don't see what can give you any sort of advantage big enough to unseat the Dragons here, other than somebody just walking into a lane and just hitting every shot. Simple as. Let me Craig considers the push out, but right now uses the smoke to somewhat mask his presence. Oh! Not given a chance with a tap from Zacharino.
That is just insane. That is phenomenal again. But Zacharino has been also outstanding inside this matchup. Ox as well, Nuki. I mean, Dragons have been stepping up their game, and that's what we have missed from them since yesterday. I'm very happy we get to see it now, as we have a push by Nuki. He's a bit isolated against 3 again, but it seems like it's a challenge he wants to take just to cause a bit of a distraction here. A lot of sound, and Petror is going to take him, but is this all distraction so Dragons can get themselves a very vacant B site?
That they could. They would absolutely love. Nobody at home. They're just going to walk in. There's no reason not to. That being said, they have to be wary about the Dark retake, which is why both players look to swing it. Take the space, see the drop down, surely, and I mean, even with the noise, they have to be aware of it. The bomb needs to be captured. There is the flank, but somehow spins to the time and somehow gets 2 kills? Okay. Either way, the bomb is still stuck out there. Remind still around to attempt. But I just don't see how to even begin to make this happen. I guess like that. Lovely tap into Sick AF, but the backstab is there. Losing experience finally break their CT drought and find an oasis in number 19.
I'll be honest, you know, Remind has always stood out. There's no denying it, but even in this case, I feel like maybe a safer approach by the side of looting experience could have been taken. He got dangerously close, and if Petror wasn't in the position he did hold by that end stage, things could have gone very hastily. But Dragons, you know, they've seen what Nuke can give to looting experience once they get into a groove of things. They want to deny. They want to make sure that the tempo is clean. It's back to Dragons in the lead. They still will be for a couple more rounds, but again, it's the fact that looting experience, they're not too far off. I mean, what, 4 rounds and is going to be equalized? Those pass on by very quickly.
Indeed. 4 rounds really could be about 2 minutes, so you'd rather not let them get an opportunity. Still, you know that you've got a decent amount of mental over them, and that you have a healthy econ in the next. Hawks, my lord, man. Absolutely obliterates. Walk up. Troza, looking the correct way at the least. No spray down available. Petra were here to be a safe pair of hands. Gets his one, gets out, but the dropped weapons may allow the Dragons to find themselves more heavily armed in the next. Orcs taken care of as well. The Deagle of Zacharino doesn't have that same level of precision. Lambda Core maybe has one, but the round seems a little bit out of his contention. Lose the experience 8 unless there's something really special for us. Oh, that's
found
special.
one. Oh, I think we were both at the edge, instantly transported to the edge of our seats there for just a mere second. Because again, Lambda, that was a nasty shot. We have to give it to him. But you know, we say 4 rounds, it's already 3. Right? This is getting very scary. And you take a look at the economy from Dragons. If this round is lost, looting experience should be comfortable to pick up another 2. That's the type of progression that the comeback potential has here from looting experience. So Dragons, you do not want to give them that space. Trust me and trust looting experience that they will do it if past the opportunity.
Absolutely. That being said, last round was your low buy. You go in with the Deagles. I didn't even remember armor, to be honest. This time, you have most of what you want. AWP, AKs. Does suck that Nuki and Lambda Core are on a Gilil and Deagle, but I think Galil's overhated anyway. You can make do. Especially when your opponent's got MP9s as well. So, Dragons, Maybe not fantastic odds in this round, but still the favorites to close out this game. Losing experience, however, nipping at their heels, closing that gap. And so they are still worthy of respect. They still need the Dragons' complete focus as we get into round number 20.
Flashes out, send full. Not a single moment of silence for those trying to enter the battlefield. Somehow in a dangerous spot. He's going to get away with 1 second. It shows, but Nuki is good for the refrag. Oh, what a shot by Petror. And look at the climb. The upshot goes missed a second as well. Petror doesn't take full advantage, but he somehow goes deeper. Now Dragons are probably in one of the most ridiculously awkward spots we've seen them yet. A nade towards Ox. Another one to follow. Zacharino with a double dip. And Looting Experience once more in the deficit, but Sikaf returns it to equal footing. What is happening?
This round is absolute pandemonium. No idea how any of these situations have unfolded. What I can tell you, the viewers at home, is that Looting Experience find themselves in a 2 versus 2. Orcs about half HP. Tros are still stuck with the MP9. Bomb, I believe, can go down, as they do have control of the site. But, oh no, my mistake. It's leaving. Thought they'd try and walk it in, but evidently not. Head spotted. CKF takes the kill, and we spoke about how that gap could quickly close. Unless Remind does something, it's going to vanish in a hot second. Plant going to be committed. Nobody here to interrupt, but it's open. No great ways of escaping the site. No utility left to play with. Backstab available. Multiple angles left to fend off, and while Remind is hard to clear, he still has to watch both ways.
I like Looting Experience. The second that plant was down, they took 2 different routes so they can try and overwhelm Remind from different spots. But if you continue going like this, you're going to give him 1v1, and that's not what you want. Utility in hand, and what are we doing? The defuse is coming around, but he could just tap on through. I mean, Looting Experience, by this point, you might as well just give them the map. Dragons, Remind is able to clutch it out in questionable decisions by both sides, but Looting Experience having the worst end of it all, as now they face match point and need 4 rounds once more, but not for regulation victory, but just to get themselves in overtime.
Woohoo! That round still probably close than it any right to be. Those opening moves still absolutely had me gobsmacked. But when all said and done, Losing Experience have to fight to stay alive here, and it's going to start with yet more aggression. Somehow sprays back and forth through the smoke. CKF takes a smidgen of damage, but that space will be seeded for the seconds. See how long it can be held on for. Again, it's mission off on a timing. Nuki dead somehow as well, just pushes the smoke dry. Dragons 3, now 2 versus 5, and Losing Experience, it feels like, have robbed them of another round. Unless Remind and Lambda Core can be more than a safe pair of hands. Can grab the momentum, two-fisted, and take it away from Losing Experience. Pretchwood does not think so, and so it's the Orpa left to 1v5.
Okay, Remind, if you clutch this one out, I will personally donate 50 euros to a charity of his choice. Now, Looting Experience Looting Experience don't like charity, apparently, because CKF is going to deny Remind of finding that clutch. However, though, for Looting Experience, I don't blame them. I mean, they're going into this with, again, a way to try and come back, because map number 2 here would be such a grace for them. I mean, imagine having a flawless run in a best of 5, and the first 2 opening maps give so much pressure to Dragons where Dust 2 feels overwhelming. I certainly see that as an option, but again, tactical timeout. Dragons, they want this map, they want it back, because they know they realize it, and converting this best of 5 into a best of 3 is certainly a good option of doing that, as now we've had a moment to talk things through. We return back to the buy phase, and Dragons, I mean, we're taking a look at that eco, and it's just heartbreaking.
It's not pretty, put it that way. Losing Experience, one has to feel like 10 rounds essentially guaranteed. They feel like just a singular rifle separates them from overtime. Dragons would beg to differ, and a curveball being committed could well sell them that, get them to a 1-1 scoreline in the series. And this hit. Just a couple mollies and flashes straight through the smoke. Spray not going to connect for CKF, but we're still going back and forth, 1-for-1. Let me cry. And Yuki, only Petrua yet alive. Dragons have surely put themselves in position to convert, and they're able to get it over the line.
Get it over the line, and that's going to be map number 2 for Dragons. Congratulations to them. They played it well, they were consistent throughout the map, and they stood up against Looting Experience, who again, map number 1, different story, but now Dragons have warmed up, and that's what matters most, as again, Anubis is going to be theirs. It's, I think, quite traditional in FPS. Tradition, I guess is a good way to put it, that teams like winning each other's maps, which it's an uncommon, or it's rather a weird occurrence, but it still happens quite commonly. And while we've just seen it, it's now this best of 5, it's down to a best of 3. It's down to whoever can win the following 2 maps, or 2 out of the following 3, as we are going to be going to Dust 2 next. But again, we do just want to thank our very, very kind seasonal sponsor, the Plausible LFG Network. Community owners, you know the pain. Your moderators getting pulled into every voice room argument, dead channels, and zero real growth, even though you're grinding to build a community. That's exactly why we built the Plausible LFG bot. It automatically creates and deletes voice rooms, gives the squad host full control so your mods never have to step in again, assigns staff-based roles that actually gamify your server and boost that chat activity, and blast your community across our entire network so new members flood on in. Less bot headaches for you, better games and constant engagement for your members. Install the bot for free right now at plausible.gg and watch your Discord finally take off. But we are having a bit of a break just around the corner as we did earlier. But before we head to Dust number 2, get something to refresh in yourself, and once more, get ready for the action, as we're going to be right back.
To say, fake it till you make it A, and if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display, on repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 still go, 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 slow, go, still go, 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 still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. You cannot stop me, I'ma make it to the top spicy. Call it covenant, not cocky. You cannot break me, this world's mine for the taking. Got an inch, man, I'm making. Oh, I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. I'll take a stab at the top and the sailing. They can all try, but you cannot contain it. Cause I see the things that I want and I take on my goals. Push myself to the brink, no limit. Do what it takes to be free, committed. I'm a little obsessed with things, I'll admit it. But that's what it takes to get a freedom ticket. Got a killer instinct and it's just the beginning. Breaking down walls and the hurt start thinning. And the more you push it, the fast start trimming. Till you're the only one standing up straight, winning all.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
You just gotta wanna keep chasing. Put you everything you're facing. Keep up with the pace and adrenaline rush starts racing. Get through all the things you hate in. Don't let the others in charge of your dreams. They just don't know what it takes to be seen. You see the ship take control of your team. And if you're alone, then a one-man army. So you better be starving. And you better be carving. Through the hate, keep marching. And every day keep charging ahead till you get what you want, what you dream. Regret is a thing of the past, and you'll see that you've always had it inside. It's the key to make the most of this life. Believe.
No, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill. We never give up, no, we never sit still. It's time to stand up, time to take the red pill. To make this our world, gonna die on this hill. Be ready to fight and be ready to kill.
Your will lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you
What is up, CS fans? We are back here at PGCS, still Spectreon, still Puffer Bob, and obviously we're just off the back of an absolute barn burner of an Anubis, just able to squeak out the win after an unfortunate loss in that first pick of Nuke were the Dragons, and now heading towards a Dust 2 to attempt to excarcerate that lead. Feels like the Nuke, as we mentioned, we started off very slow, but especially the later stages of that Anubis, we got right into the action. See if we get another well-played Dust 2 from the Dragons, or whether losing experience will be able to regain momentum.
100%. Looting experience, maybe Ancient or rather Anubis wasn't their map fully. Again, they put up a real good effort to make that come back true, and it certainly wasn't as dominating as they were to Dragons inside that map number 1. But as we head on to Dust, this is going to be a completely different playstyle. It's down to kind of how the team mechanics work and how synergy is going to be around these two teams. Like you've said, Dust 2 is a figured out map. I mean, it's probably one of the most recognized maps in gaming history, to be completely fair. And yes, it's had a couple of changes, buffs and nerfs here and there, but still, mid is very terrifying. Ops are certainly going to be a sentimental part of the map, especially towards A-Long, especially mid, especially, oh, you can imagine it just about anywhere. And well, we're looking forward to that. But again, Dust is very pinchy. Again, it's really difficult to break through into any site, as you have, if you don't have mid control, you're going to have to do it through catwalk long towards A and tunnels or top mid towards B. So getting yourself into a site as a T player is certainly a difficulty, which is the reason I would say that this is a bit of a CT-sided map.
Well, yeah, the way I would describe it is that you can probably count on one hand the positions that can't be played with an AWP. The map just suits it so effectively. So if your sniper's, running hot, that puts you in a pretty strong position to try and open up that throttle, I suppose. Game is ready, but before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that PGCS is brought to you by the Plausible LFG network. Server owners, you're done babysitting voice rooms. No more moderators getting dragged into every argument, no more dead channels, and no more begging for growth. The Plausible LFG bot handles everything. Also, voice rooms that create and delete themselves, squad hosts that go full control so your mods stay free, stat-based roles, and LFG posts blast your community across your entire network to new members pour in. Pouring into the B site, by the way, is going to be the Dragons. Nuki gets an opener, Trozo trades it back, but they have the space, they have the eliminations, and very quickly they'll have the plan as Petro War gets absolutely sat down. Two great ones from the defenders, but a 1 versus 2 with both attackers. High HP, still want being tunnels, puts something of a split onto Let Me Cry, and he can't quite split his attention. Dragons, an opener.
An opener, good round. They get the bomb down as well for an extra bang for their buck. And the CC side are going to find themselves a very explosive beginning towards that B side. I think it was advantageous they take care of it, especially when looting experience expected the least. Seeing Dragon, they've been quite a passive team in the opening 2 maps. But again, just completely converting their playstyle here has maybe even scared off looting experience, as they're going to take a tactical timeout just to kind of calm things down. A round has been lost, that might be true, but again, looting experience brought it down to a 2v1, meaning a force buy is still very much possible, and they might be even able to step up to Dragons, considering that Dragons don't have anything exponential besides Nuki on that AK.
Indeed, this isn't a crazy buy by any means, and so as you mentioned, that force buy could well be threatening. That being said, 4 MP9s on a map as long range as this, while you absolutely can find easy positions for them, there's going to be a lot of positions where it's not going to be so comfortable, and especially if you force losing experience to rotate in any way, they're going to quickly find themselves outclassed. And so if any sort of positional shift happens, Dragon's going to be in the driver's seat. They have to make sure not to run into these weapons, though, because at close ranges, they're still scarily effective.
Yeah, Long has been pushed up to by Trozer. He's going to back up, but Dragons take that granted space and move themselves forward aligned. A scout is going to make it sound clear. Somehow is trying to challenge the pit players. No headshot comes around, but Inuki has taken heavy damage. A re-swing here attempted, a bit of pre-fire, but again, the push-up by Lambda here seems to be the deadliest aspect. This looting experience have no clue. It's now snuck down right beneath their noses. A swing with a MAC-10, gonna find one. Oh, it's gonna be a double molly by Remind. What a raid as Inuki follows up, and Dragons already looking dominant within this first map. Third map.
Might have to rename himself to Pyro after that. A double with a molly, something you get to see every day. But it dematerializes, and now another double going to be needed to close out round number 2. Looting experience. Just the 2 SMGs left to play with, and they don't appear to be playing very hard for the round. Petro considering how to save more than anything else, just heading towards car. Let Me Cry, playing for some damage, but won't find any. Clean round from the Dragons, exactly what they wanted from a second round force. I gotta say, it's so much better than what the last time they had to play against the second round was. This time, 5 alive.
Flawless round here by Dragons. And again, once more, just really explosive. You give a player like Lambda Core a bit of space, and he's going to take it tenfolded into pressure against Looting, who kind of stood idly by as they took so much damage by that molly. And in combination with the spray from that MAC-10 and other utility being present, not much can be done by those 2 players, as not much remained here. The CT side just kind of had to take the bullet on that one. As for Dragons, T side looking great, an opening as well, and what a shot by Somehow is, oh my goodness, these mollies, they just... their impact inside this match has been already stronger than ever.
You really don't see it every day. But as you mentioned, fire's burning hot tonight. Somehow, feeling that unpleasant, like Yuki. Decapitated down long. SecF looks to consolidate that position. A close molly, not going to be thrown. Instead, it's Car that's punished. A lot wide swing with the 5-7. Doesn't find too much. Let Me Cry. Good job to stabilize the Deagle that long range into Zacharino, but a 2 versus 2 should, in theory, still favor the upgraded weapons of the Dragons. Looting experience, 1 taps, lovely to have, but hardly consistent.
Trozer, that's going to have to sting for a bit. 13 HP on the player now. Standing alone, not for longer. What does it matter, though? It's going to be the final 2 that fall together. Lambda going to claim them both, and a good transfer for a 3rd round here towards Dragons. Again, this is just a real strong set of plays by Dragons. Even though, yes, they have the clear gun advantage, I'm not denying them of it. It's still the fact that they push together, they don't get overzealous, and they stick to their root core strategy. That's what's been allowing them to get most of these rounds, but even then, looting experience, they've still been able to bite back, and Majorly will have to do so now, considering it's a full buy after already being flawlessed up against up until this point.
Indeed. With the first rifle, perhaps see if looting experience really are losing momentum in this game, or whether it's just because Dragons have got a little better at rolling pistols. Speaking of the Dragons, going for the first mid pressure of the game. Smoke dropped. CT no longer a accessible. It's a flash to bait for a close player who's not home. Lambda Core finds out there's a sniper rifle the unpleasant way. 338 Lopo Magnum taking him out the server, and Nuki as well, removed by Sick AF, and we're right back to Lucy Experience now, being the ones who hold the cards.
Dragon's quite unused at being on the receiving end. We can have a bittersweet taste of it as a learning experience. Oh, they're going to hold down this mid lane. Again, there's 2 players approaching it, but not much of that can be done. SKF is really tempted for the swing. A bit of damage on Remind's way. Flash is going to be good for entry, and a smoke in return. Molly towards window. And for now, learning experience again, just trying to disencourage any gunfights. As for the smokes, Ox is going to find Trozer right in between the two. We get a bit closer for the moment being.
Somehow taken care of. And I mentioned how it was going to be Lucy Experience in the driver's seat. Taking a wrong turn somewhere. Even odds for a second at least. Sick AF able to bring it back in their favor. Do they expect the boost player? Do they have anything to deal with the boost player? No, and so far it feels like no. Great job getting the 1, but the trade was always going to be there. You didn't even have the ammo for more. There we go. Lucy Experience now on the board. But the fact that Dragons were able to fight it so close means that they could reasonably go for an investment with this round. Lambda Core 8k can drop a rifle over.
Bit of a technical pause just for the moment being. I mean, Dragons here, they're still going to be able to fall buy into this without a doubt. Like you said, Lambda, Remind, good on the guns, good on money especially. But that's going to run out soon thin. Again, looting experience. Now they've gotten themselves around. I think it's a comfort zone they've been able to pick upon, especially the previous one being so strong. Dragons still kind of went into the previous round with somewhat of a bonus. So again, bringing guns from the prior rounds, it wasn't necessarily a fall buy. I think this is the round that's going to count to most, but it's down to how we're able to transfer money between all these 5 players, because again, Remind has bought himself what he needs. He can still get an AK, I believe, but nonetheless, I mean, it's going to be rough for Lambda to cover the entire roster by himself.
A lot of work to do. I'd imagine they're just figuring out exactly how they're juggling those guns over so far, and they're holding on to a lot of money here by the looks of things. Yeah, just figuring out how they want to make this buy work out. Nuki going to be low on the money. Everybody else should be able to get through something, at least in that next. It's going for something of like a halfway house buy. It's not fully what I would define as a half, but it's almost there, right? They'll have an AWP, they'll have 3 rifles rather in the next. Nuki will have some sort of SMG, maybe an upgraded pistol. And for Lucy Experience, it will feel like the real deal.
Sure, no doubt there. Again, Lambda trying to save as much cash as he can. Kill goes both ends. As now somehow he's been able to find Remind, which is going to be one of those major players you always have to stick out and look out for. Plant is now down. Dragons are going to try and deny it. What a nade here. Yeah, Let Me Cry is going to take so much heavy damage from it, but looting experience, that isn't going to discourage them. Fully Patrol with 1 KF as well to follow, and all of a sudden it seems like Dragons don't have much else standing for them besides Lambda and Ox. Up close, good with the Tech 9, pushes himself deeper towards mid, finds another, but he's the last man standing, and now needs to play with his AK in hand. Still has time to waste, but there's no kit. Somehow picks it up, and Sick AF with a kill onto Ox to close things out. Looting experience, now 1 round behind.
Really not sure about what that mid push was from the Dragons. I understand the smoke was fading and it would have been a curveball, but it feels like a flash or just not doing that probably would have been easier. This is the hardest to retake site in the game, as far as I'm aware. I feel like you just let the map geometry play for you, but instead we sell bodies on something I'm not particularly happy with, and instead of letting your opponents do the exact same thing. Now, 2 to 3. Dragons feel that gap closing, and they no longer have the money to keep on investing, or at least they wouldn't if this round again goes against them. But again, they're in this kind of weird spot where, like, around the 4,000 mark, they could armor AK, have no utility. Lambda Core could probably buy an AWP. But it doesn't feel great just to have the armored AK with no utility. Nuki can't even have that. So I'm not quite sure where they go for this position they played themselves into.
I couldn't be the one to tell you. I mean, right now, this has been a bit more of a back and forth, and that's what I'm more excited to see, because it shows both these teams are on even levels when it comes down to team fundamentals alone. Somehow, though, Oh, he's zealous. But is he overzealous? Yep, Zacharino is going to shove that fact right into his face, and a second one as well. Let me cry, cannot retaliate. So KF has been the only one to step up for looting experience as of yet. Smoke's there to clear out that spawn side, as again, this, close shots by the AK just don't come through though, and maybe that's going to be something to come and bite you back. Molly's flashes all stacked. Zacharino with his third, a quad, and an ace for this player, as he just cannot be stopped. Dragons will be met within the lead.
Where has that come from, Zacharino? A relatively quiet game up until this point, but just rocks up, finds every single headshot, doesn't even use a particular flank. Just up the ramp, finds that kills, and off the back of that, Dragons find their fourth. Just stupid. Breaks the economy of your opponents as well. 5-7, P250, a Deagle, and an A1S. You don't even have that, but yeah. This surely is going to be a 5th round. And again, this is also off the back of Zacharino. You've got to pat yourself on the back, man. That was something special.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Zacharino there. Again, even throughout the previous maps couple, he's been certainly stepping up for Dragons alongside Remai. Honestly, each and every one of these players have been phenomenal. We have to give it to him, but there's certainly highlights that we need to pass on down. So KF is going to be one of those without a doubt. Good top up with that pistol. Again, still fighting back, even though up against heavier odds, considering the guns Dragons currently rock. And I'm hoping they're going to put them to test and use, considering the recognition they've currently have. Going to be good flash there, Molly as well. We're going to try and avoid that. The CT side has certainly been dealt a heavy blow in the past to utility alone. Good spottage, but doesn't find the finalization. Now a continuation, and Remind is going to find himself one, and Yuki Zacharino spread it between the three, as all left on Pedro, and I don't think there's anywhere you can get beyond this.
Yeah, this is about as cooked as you can reasonably be in a round. You're in an awkward position to retake from anyway. Smoked off, people are aware of your presence. You don't have any flashes or any utility at all, and to top it off, you don't even have a full bar of HP. I just turn tail and run. It appears like Petro are going to try and play for exits instead, but how many you get, I don't know. How much value would they be? Again, I'm not so confident, so... Gonna be a 5th for the Dragons, as we kind of expected. Lose your 2. Orcs thanks his lucky stars about the distance, because 1 point of health is a... Well, it's not pristine. That's why.
There we go. I'm hoping they pick up the op. There we go. And Yuki's going to at least reclaim it from Ox. That's the communication we want to see. Dragons now quite far ahead from looting experience within this first half, as the CT side having to bite the bullet, considering it's quite the boon Dragons have given themselves. And map number 3 right now, certainly not shabby from the T side, but looting experience onto a full buy once more. I'm hoping they really do bring it all towards something they can work around. There's that boost, and CKF is going to work it to its bone. A push from Yuki, though, to change the tides, as he's been able to tip the scales in the favor of looting, or rather Dragons. And now site overtaken once more. It's as easy as that.
There's no reason to even try and play the rounds. 3v4 retaken to B. You have no idea where half the players even are across the map. Your economy is pretty brittle already. You just save. It's simple as, if I'm Zacharino, you probably try and look for a kill somewhere. Your chance of manifesting them, to be honest, relatively low, but as long as you have the info, you're kind of fine. This much time rotted, I mean, you've converted the round. Dragons have their 6th.
Yep. Looting experience, they're still doing their best. Being in a hidey hole on the opposite side of the map. Dragons, though, they want to do some economic damage, and Yuki is brutal with it. And do we try to find the refract? Yes, but it just does not go your way. The Deagle almost claimed its mark. Thankfully, Remind is there to pat you on the back. Dragon good for their 6th. And again, just soaring through the skies with this current performance that we've lacked on Nuke. But it's similar as it was, I believe, on semifinals. Dragons had a rough beginning on the Ancient in the first map we saw from them yesterday, and then they were able to come back. Then they grew stronger as the match continued, and then inside that second map they reigned supreme.
I'd probably say not anyhow, but just a bit messy.
That's certainly a good way to put it, but Metro, please don't. Yuki's gonna find you. You're low on HP. Your teammates are not cooperating with that plan. And there you go. Looting experience. It's another round to give away. Sadly, the towards the CT side and a valid attempt pushed a bit too deep. Dragons another round for themselves, and Zacharino, he's gonna get challenged, or rather he's the challenger, but ends up losing. Top as always. Sadly this round, or at least not a round, somehow just hasn't been finding his stride. Mostly been sick AF doing the heavy lifting for his team. But I mean, right now it's looting experience just not off to a pleasant start.
I feel like a lot of this map is so financially dependent. Obviously, in our preamble, we spoke heavily about how effective having an AWP is.
Yeah.
If you don't have the economy to buy an AWP consistently, you know, you don't have a lot of time to play. Somehow finally got one in his hands. See if it makes any difference, as he's looking for a mid-peak so far that he is not really being given utility to isolate him, and it's going to figure out a better place across the map to position. Also, ace HP.
Oh, right through the smoke. Somehow, you have got to be kidding me. Again, he's a prodigy
ticket, man.
on that glass cannon. I mean, it just... You should have seen the smoke shots yesterday. Oh, somehow it's always somehow. I don't get it. It's always him.
I feel like he picked his nom de guerre for a pretty good reason in that case.
Oh, poor Ox. He's going to have no say in the continuation of this round, but hey, maybe the rest of Dragons can try and back up that talk with a push towards Catwalk, because the rest of these players only have one motive, one move, and it's to win.
One would have to hope so. Smoke dropped. Try to extricate yourself. Flash through as well. First AWP shot miss. Second one to boot. Troza might not be known here, and Gandalf will see if his wizarding ways... Well, they don't accomplish too much. Lambda doesn't believe any of that nonsense. Just got your one A1 down on long, who has to try and contend some sort of resistance. But no, you've got your help coming. Fighting ghosts by the looks of things. CT incredibly clear. Retake now on. Someone quite finding a way to find a fight until Zacharino overpeaks. Lambda does as well, but still two players left standing. And not being on the site could be very hard. Double short, double spray down. Nuki able to take care of two, but still the 1v1 going to be needed if he wants the round. Sikf reveals his position with the kill. Time wasting good from Nuki. Time half ticked, almost there. I believe SKF has got it. Third round for losing experience, but that could not have been closer.
Oh, that was real close. SKF, though, is able to close out the round in looting experience. So there we go. A bit more reset. The foundation starting to look strong. Oh, this one from somehow it's almost... It just is pitch perfect. That's the scary thought about it. And Yuki's spot there almost buried looting experience inside that round. But when it comes down to 1v1s, always bet on Sick AF. It's as sick as half plate, to say the least. Almost slipped for a moment. Now pushing to B. We've seen this from Dragons before. This is how they started out this map, and they're looking to go towards this closing part of the first half with it as well.
I don't think they've been stopped from planting on B yet this game. This doesn't feel like it. And this time there's no retake to play. Obviously they didn't have full weapons, but they had more than a couple. And picking up the A1S from Petrowa, sorry. You've now got full rifles. Again, the economy from losing experience has never been particularly healthy. I guess it's better than what it was at certain points. Tros are still only $250. Nuki reveals his head and has it pretty swiftly removed. But I don't imagine you even have to push here for your Dragons. There's no reason to, really.
No. I mean, they can just stick to their guns. What do they have to lose? At this point, it's an 8-4 confirmed. As looting experience, they're going to have to save into the following round if they want any fighting chance. Oh, but Trozer, he spotted a bit of a head, and Zacharino, I don't know what the decision-making there is, but they've got enough money anyway, so I don't think it's going to hurt them. This last round, ooh, what a shot from Let Me Cry. He's going to shut down Ox, and, well, Dragons, the intent here certainly doesn't feel bad, right? They know that looting experience, economy-wise, aren't, like, insanely well, so they wanted to deal as much damage as possible, but either way, both these teams get the full buy at the very end. And Dragons, I like how they play a very confusing style, right? the beginning of this map, or at least the first half, Dragons have been extremely aggressive. Then they toned it down by a large margin, and now as the first half is closing in, Dragons return to that extremely explosive playstyle and looting experience. They just don't expect it.
No, I mean, this explosive playstyle is what's caused a total script flip from what we saw on that map number 1. I can't lie, I was a little bit worried still heading into Dragon's map pick, but it feels like here, I mean, Nuke is a long time ago now, and a very real chance to equalize the scoreline that was scored against them. Util out early, aggressive here on long, behind the smoke, looking for the fight, but it's bought enough time for Lucy Experience to at least back out for the most part. They are not putting anything towards long, at least for a second, but the clear that's come through on tunnels does pigeonhole Dragons into completing the stack.
Oh, Dragons setting up a bit of a different precedent, as if it were to be an A push, which leaves Looting Experience to stay back a bit, push most of the majority of the roster towards this A push, but again, looking mid, it's clear. You put a mid player there so he can try and confirm where the actual initiation is going to come around, but Dragons have set down Zacharino, or rather Ox in the back lines to make a bit of sound around long, but Petro's position right now is going to be vital. And if the reaction upon it, if he can at least get a kill off himself, he's spotted. Oh, they lined themselves up perfectly. That's a good 2Ps there. And Petro has done his job better than expected. Remind though, refrag is there, and look at Looting Experience, instant to respond.
Messing with utility, so CKF able to get his one as well. I said Dragons are pigeonholed into the long take.
Oh, no.
And it has worked out for them. A missed shot to boot. It's messy. Orcs able to at least get his one, but a 1v3 now asked of him. Last round of the half, you might as well commit to it. But it's going to be tricky. Going to be impossible, in fact. CKF puts that down 4-8. An ugly side from Losing Experience, but they at least have some rounds to play with. And that final round, I think, probably could have been Dragons if they just committed. But instead, sensing perhaps a trap, instead walk into the jaws of their opponents. Now side flip, see what they can do when they've got to control the space against their opponent.
Looting Experience starting to have to, or at least we are going to have to hope and pray that this T side is what they favor more. Maybe on the dust, and it's something they can get complimented by, considering that they love being aggressive. And hey, maybe they can still convert it into a winning map, but Dragons are 4 rounds ahead, and you cannot discredit that. Shows are right now, long angle against the USP, but he's still willing to take it. Ox is now 1 foot in the grave already. Smoke's coming out, flashes as well, and Juki gonna push himself deeper in Looting Experience. Gonna have to feel the real blunt side of it, as they're able to only pick up 1, exchange for the 2. It's still close nonetheless, but the plant needs to commence, and right now Petro is gonna have to, oh my goodness, this is a really scrappy fight. What is happening? Looting Experience, they just can't seem to get a grasp over it.
Again, it seems like a bit of a windy day for Looting Experience. Dragons gonna be perfectly happy to take that. A 9th round now found. And it feels like we could be seeing a pretty fast Mirage here. That being said, we had that possibility on the previous map, and look how that worked out. So we can't write out Looting Experience yet. Absolutely not. But equally, they have, what, P250s, a Deagle, into multiple A1Ss. CKF demonstrates my point rather kindly. And Nuki probably shouldn't keep deathmatching at this point, but, I mean, he's feeling way too confident to stop.
Don't let him stop. Somehow he's going to find Remind. There's a good one on the pistol, but what does it matter? It's a bloodbath down mid. Looting Experience only on Somehow, who's found himself a couple of taps. Successful, very, but again, doesn't matter. The result is still going to be heavily against you, Lambda. Zacharino closing close around that gate. You're just waiting for his entrance, and only 1 bullet could be spared. Zacharino took his, and a 10-4 now. Dragons. This is the story we saw from them around Anubis. I guess we're gonna tell it once more.
Again, this is what I'm saying about these overpeaks. We just don't need to be really hard fighting the Eagles at long range and mid. There's no reason to, right? And because we do, we lose 3 guns. Yes, you're able to save through your 2 A1Fs, I believe. But now your economy not in the same position it otherwise would be. Long take. has to be respected from losing experience. You do have the AWP from Orcs. But what can you actually get done with it? It was a very quiet half. 4, I believe it was, somehow, with the gun for losing experience. The Orcs can do better. Now he's got his pick of the map, pick of the lit up. Cross smoke dropped. But the core has decided to go elsewhere.
Oh, I like that from Zacharino. He's gonna try and use his body to redirect the smoke so it doesn't actually land on its purposed position as Lambda finds SickAF. Remind, good for the second. He does get traded out, however, but Dragons are still a player above, and that's what matters. And it continues down to Zacharino, the Dominator, once more. Leaving somehow in a 1v4, this poor man can't find himself a single piece of break and a gasp of air as he's constantly dealt these impossible situations. And it's going to clear the smoke. He's still around it, but no confirmed information. He possibly could get away with murder. Swings in 2 and loses a battle once more. And Yuki, it's going to be his to claim. Dragons now a round away from match point and looting experience, far behind.
Yeah, 7 rounds feels essentially like a canyon at this point in the game. Your economy, pretty broken. You're always left with the unfortunate decision. Do we force you now, get some Tech 9s, get some scouts, and that's what they'll do. But it's hardly what they could have had if they decided to eco. And it's less than what they have now as Orcs finds a pretty back-breaking opener. Nuki, man! Death matching down mid. Let me cry, a 1v5 now needed. And at least if they save, they'd have some economy through now, but let me cry. Why did we jump there? Big mistake, but it's okay. Nuki able to blow him up. A 3-piece, I believe, from the Rifler. 8 in a row needed from losing experience. Dragons. Took a while to wake up in our final, but now they feel well and truly alive.
Yep, that they surely do. Oh, these shots from Yuki and then the nade to follow as well. Absolutely, beautiful. Like a symphony. 12-4. Dragons need only a single out of the following 8 in a row. Looting would require it to them to then equalize out the score. Look at Lambda. He's feeling himself quite nice. The op shot is going to miss him, so it's a lucky day for him. He can back off, throw a bit of utility. Smoke Molly would be certainly expected, but you still have Nuki around the corner, and SickAF's very ahead of his team push does go against him. A swing here and a flash to allow Nuki to push himself towards these tunnels. An extra step, but somehow is going to read into that. Find Nuki a refrag and looting experience. Now going for a different site.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trades probably will favor the T's. Not a crazy amount, though, and so I don't think losing experience are feeling all that comfortable. Orcs tasked with managing 2 angles. Always a bit of risky business. See if it ends up being his demise, whether he's able to readjust and convert Petra. We're flirting with the idea of a peak and being smoked off. It surely stops him from holding that line. Indeed, will do.
Down to timing. Ox is checking both angles. Good util. Molly as well. Oh, we speak of it. The op to follow for twice. Ox has now shut down the majority of looting experience. Burnt him to a crisp and let me cry. Stuck in the enemy spawn, just hoping to grasp something, but it's the Dragon's Grip that ends up prevailing as another map for them back-to-back, and now they hold series points, you know? After Nuke, we thought that looting experience, it was going to be their map, it was going to be their series, but completely different story as now we see the third one gone.
Indeed, Dragons have just been slowly powering up the longer we've had them in the lobby. A 13-4, a commanding performance here on Dust 2, and with a Mirage up next, if I'm looting experience, I've got to be rather worried about how things are going to play out. As a reminder, this stream, PGCS, is brought to you by the Plausible LFG Network. So, runners, you're done babysitting voice rooms. No more moderators getting dragged into every argument. No more dead channels and no more begging for growth. The Plausible LFG bot handles everything. Order voice rooms that create and delete themselves. Squad hosts get full control so your mods stay free. Stat-based roles that gamify your server and increase stat activity. Plus, LFG posts blast your community across the entire network so new members pour in. Less work for you, way more fun, and active members to your Discord. Install it free at PlausibleGG and watch your server turn into a thriving pre-made machine.
100%. But before we head into map number 4, which is to be Mirage, I'm very excited to see Mirage once more here, as both teams have presented quite a solid foundation on it. We're going to be heading once more to a short break, so refreshen up, get ready, and stay tuned as we'll be right back.
Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit in a plan and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Yeah.
Good lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Real lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Purpose is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you're doing something, that's all you need. I wake up ready for the day because I believe in everything that I'm doing, like it was meant to be. I get fixated and captivated on learning things. Don't hesitate to ask questions, the answer that I need. It's out there somewhere, I swear I can find the recipe. By testing, learning, and turning into a better me.
Real lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Real lies deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
I got all the voters. I swear to God, I've been at it for a minute. Climbing to the top, and this music was my ticket. Found a way to grind, turn a passion to a business. No limit, I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need the chase. I love the race, and I'm running till I'm first place.
We are back after a short break. Casting runs back to Dust 2, an absolutely dominant performance coming through there from the Dragons. Losing experience started off this series so strong. It feels like as we get into the later hours of the evening, they are quickly losing steam. Their pick of Mirage has to find them some level of safety, because if not, Dragons will be our champions.
Yeah, 100%. They hold series points. A kind of a prediction we put up for looting experience if they were to continue what they did over towards Nuke, but now it's an interesting matchup because Mirage was played by both these teams, and I do want to call out that both these teams went 13-3 against their opponents in the semifinals. So it's kind of like which poison will we pick between the two? But again, it's down to also this being either brought to the decider, Ancient, or us finishing with Mirage. I'm interested, but you know what I also want to mention? I want to mention that PGCS is brought to you by the Plausible Looking For Group Network. The Plausible LFG Network is a community-driven Discord looking for group service designed to fix the matchmaking experience by connecting players to better squads and streamlining the pre-made process. With thousands of players connected already, the Plausible LFG Network is extending its free early access period. Your next squad is just moments away, so get more details over towards plausible.gg as our match is right around the corner, and I'm very excited to give this Plausible Gaming network system a try myself. Again, toxic and long queues are probably the worst thing you want to go around, so just get yourself more details and, of course, get more interested over at plausible.gg. Of course, we are going towards Mirage. Now, me and you, Spectrian, we'll relate in the fact that Dust 2 is not the most favorite of maps, but I have to ask, are you a Mirage fan?
I don't hate Mirage.
Okay.
It's not like it's not when I get like Dust 2 and I'm like, I don't want to be here. But it probably isn't my favorite map either. Again, it's very deathmatchy. That's not really my thing.
Yeah,
I want to be a bit more of a nerd about it when given the opportunity. But like, I think that's the thing about Mirage. It is the white bread of maps. It is fine. Everybody will probably play it. You know, that's kind of my gut feeling about it. Everybody knows it as well. When we speak about the most iconic maps in Counter-Strike, realistically in just esports in general, Dust 2 Mirage most definitely up there. So synonymous with the game, and so everyone's just got a solid fundamental understanding of the map because it's just fine, like I say.
Yeah, I think that's a really good, great spot to put it in. It just is. Mirage just is. You can never go wrong with a Mirage. It's not going to be your top 3, but it's certainly one of the better ones. But the game is right ready, so I say we waste no further time and actually take a look at why Mirage is fine and how these two teams are going to treat it, considering that they both had a dominant performance yesterday and how they're going to carry that over towards today. A lot more pressure on them. These are the grand finals, and again, a total prize pool of $1,000 to be split amongst. And for the majority of that number 1 spot, Dragons on the CT side, looting experience on the T side, silent around an A push that is about to occur.
Of course, high pressure scenario for looting experience, especially. Map can quickly go against you with no pistols, and they simply don't have the runway for that anymore. And so it's going to be with pretty tense fingers that they maneuver themselves onto the site. Won't find any resistance just yet. It's a 5-player retake that's going to come through onto A. No utility for it, I don't believe, but they will have a defuse kit at least on to Remind. Still, no contacts found. It's so passive from the Dragons. They're waiting for the perfect moment to strike, but surely Lucy Experience won't be ready after that 1-for-1. Somehow tries to isolate, but instead simply falls. 3 versus 2. Let me cry. A clutch to manufacture. 1 found, 2 available, 3 maybe there, but the defuse is in the smoke.
I heavily respect that. Ox is even able to put a cherry on top and take out Let Me Cry just to kick the man while he's down. And that is a good plan. For a moment, I was about to be critical that Dragons didn't put Ox on the one to challenge Let Me Cry because he had more HP, right? But it's the fact that if the loss was to come around, Let Me Cry would need to shoot multiple bullets into him to deny him of that defuse. So again, with that kit only being 4 seconds, that was actually a really smart play by Dragons.
That was absolutely fantastic. On the pistol round, that strat so much more impactful if you can invest into it. Now, 5 premium rifles here in the second round. Your opponents have some firepower, however, Still doesn't matter if you end up falling to it. 3 versus 2 when all is said and done. A melee in mid. Not one yet, it's Master. But just able to tuck away. From the roaming CT is Trozo for a second. Prechua, 1 versus 3. Not yet known, but will be now noted. Attempt at the swing, not committed to. Waits for the flash, and off the back of that, Dragons convert the second. Looting experience, invest, but don't find results. And so Dragons now, 4 rounds probably going to be on the board.
Yeah, there we go. These opening 2 are going to be good. Looting experience. You know, this next one is going to be a force buy, I'd assume, since they still might have enough funds to then carry it over towards a full buy, and a very minor one at the very least. Not even a half buy. I mean, a Tech 9 and Deagles can cause some damage. And Dragons, I'm a huge fan of the fact that they're pushing up to mid, because you got an advantage here. Ox is going to take it with a grain of salt, because Nuki's backing it up, and still advantage will be theirs, as top mid cannot be descended down upon. Petror gonna have to back off. He was spotted under, and Nada's gonna send right towards his direction, but he's already back off towards TV. And, well, there isn't much of an... he's getting haunted. This must be a scary experience. He takes a tick of damage, wants to recontest. That HE is gonna... Oh, it's gonna cause a lot of damage. Thankfully, he was able to hop away from the second one, but a flashing combination, he's sticking down to stairs, and 72 HP. Can someone put this man down already? There we go.
That was pretty aggro with the chase. It's full on running, gunning, like we're like a movie mobster, but obviously doesn't work out. At the end of the day, it takes a second, but they are able to convert it. Again, it feels like we have been very proactive as Dragons more than a couple times. Here's an example of it, especially into low buys. A lot of teams want to, you know, sit back, let their crossfires play themselves. Not Dragons. They are looking to biff and brawl, and they are losing members because of it, but they're also converting rounds, so I think they can be too mad whatsoever. Obviously, 5 AKs, 4 losing experience. So far, looking for mostly mid pressure, but there's nobody home to receive it. We're playing heavy on sites for the Dragons.
All right, now the silence is kind of deafening, I won't lie, considering how early the engagements happened between these two teams, but that's what the pistol beginnings kind of, and the first opening rounds tend to set off. A good boost around window, and Trozer is going to find himself in a extremely volatile position that Dragons might need to clear him from, otherwise Catastrophe could strike, and not just Trozer, but multiple are following in his footsteps as, well, it's a good step forward, but what now?
Indeed. A very great question to ask, is they've got to figure out somewhere to go. Every exit watched. They will not be able to get too much distance without giving over information, and very likely it is the AWP that's going to take care of one to boot. Quick cross, shot baited out, drops the Molotov, and will mean that nobody else comes through. Flash as well to deny multiple players on to Remind, who will be able to do his due diligence and find a double kill. Good clear from Sick AF. Notes that there could be a player firebox and removes him. Trozer as well, able to take care of the short player. 2 versus 2 now. Now 2v1. Lambda Core can't quite stabilize, and it's a low HP AWP to try and get Dragons fourth. Oh,
good flash. Just pass it through closer towards Ninja. Trozer and somehow now a bit spread apart, but again, I don't think that matters when Ox is on such low HP and he carries that up. I would run away with it. Dragons, you should probably keep such a strong gun. Oh, he's picking up his knife as well. I mean, at this point, you might as well just walk away. You have no kid. There's an op shot taken, but Trozer is going to swing and find the opportunity to capitalize on a low HP CT player. I do wonder what Ox was thinking. I mean, carrying it up into the next round would be so much better. Now he's forced onto a scout. Did he really think he could win that?
I could agree with you there, man. I didn't quite see the vision. You got info on both. Maybe I can make the argument, but no info, 20 HP, 1v2. There's no way that works out well for you unless you're Zywoo, and no respect to you, but not looking so French right now. See what value you can find with the scout. If the impact's the same, I guess we can't complain, but you are right. The AWP would be a lovely boon at a round like this. Oh, shifts off the angle at just the wrong time. Nuki can't try fishing again in the same pool too much, not without being needled by the AK. 'Cause 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 'cause
Oh, Ox is going to remain patient. Dragons, they don't like losing.
Good.
Oh, there's that shot. A headshot. Doesn't matter if he carries an op or a scout. He's going to have it work. One player down, and it's Sick AF as well. I mean, Sick AF is just insane. We've seen him in the previous maps, and, well, certainly... Oh, Remind looking in the wrong direction.
Good clear as well from Petua, making sure fully aware of every threat now possible, and a large amount of the damage that Dragons can do stripped off the round. Nuki still able to take care of somehow as well. It's the high flyers. Remove. And Zacharino, a double kill. Final player noted in the palace. 2 players yet alive. Bomb not even down. No reason to give a peek if you are Dragons. Just lock down the space and set up the fight. They would have had the trade even if Let Me Cry had found the first. Perfect round from Dragons without all the firepower they would maybe need. And I think you're kind of forgiven for giving up the AWP now if you're Orcs, right? You get your one with the scout and you're able to convert the rounds.
Let Me Cry. Yeah, I mean, in the end, couldn't do it all by himself. Look at Dragons, though. Still high and mighty. 4 rounds ahead here. Not allowing looting experience nor their pressure to overwhelm them going towards Mirage. But again, you can never underestimate these Tech 9s and Deagles from players such as Somehow and Petrolor. Let Me Cry on an AK as well. Quite the terrifying one to go up against. But Zacharino taking a couple of pop shots through these smokes. It certainly got close, but doesn't reveal any position until Ox steps in to help him out. Somehow falls, and nades just flying through on towards short as it's made impossible to pass through.
More than impossible here. Losing experience, fighting themselves. Waves crashing against the shore and do about as much work. Trozor removed. Sick AF and Let Me Cry. I mean, we're seeing it here. Boxed in from every angle. Stuck out in a field as well. At least it'll feel like it. Dragons 5-1. And it still feels like what I said earlier is like correct, right? Where the Dragons, every map we get deeper on, they're powering up, they're gaining more momentum, losing experience, simply shrinking away. We spoke about stamina in these long games, and we're seeing it manifest here. Dragons simply have more in the tank by the looks of things.
No doubt, tactical timeout by looting. I do wonder what the conversion is, or rather what they are talking about. I mean, in general, it's also interesting to see, or rather for me to wonder, who is the IGL going into this? Who is that coach position? Who resets the mentals? There's someone who actually tries to take care of it. Is it someone like Sick AF, Let Me Cry maybe? Or is it more of a team collaboration effort where all 5 of them kind of work in one as a bit of a hive mind? Whatever the case, it's now talking time over. Ox is going to set himself up nicely around window, throw a bit of utility out, but beyond that, Dragons don't really feel threatened.
Let's see if some of that threat manifests in a headshot through the smoke. Orcs gonna be feeling a little bit hard done by that, but getting the info from your CC player means you can begin to drop utility. Not aware that the drop comes through. Sick F still able to find the one and Let Me Cry as well. Cements your hold on the B side. 2 versus 2. Not the retake you'd want to go for, but you'll make it happen. Remind missing the movement. Zacharino able to land his. Both players coming from short, but they'll know that in a second as they hear absolutely nothing around kitchen. Re-smoking it to boot. Both players spotted, but Let Me Cry gives his life for the information. Has to be a double from the Sick AF. If anybody was got to do it, it would be him. And the opener shows now every player now spotted. Zacharino taken care of through the smoke. And it feels like even in losing experience's darkest moments, there's Sick AF there to garner back control.
Looting experience not to be unaccounted for just yet. Good way for them to swing back and get around, but again, it can't just be around every now and then. It needs to be consistency shown throughout this map, as again, Dragons have shown that consistency themselves on the previous map, as a matter of fact. And look at Ox, he's taking such a quick hop around to take the position around ladder, although Sick AF, I mean, A is just giving over. Remind's the only one really holding it down, and if he won't be enough... Oh, 2 players in sandwich. He finds one. The Tetris player is going to take him out in return, but Zacharino supports Sick AF. Going to make sure that it isn't all for naught. Nice. And bloodshed around Khan as the nade claims another live. Somehow is keeping it balanced, and Dragons only one last hatchling to remain on Lambda. Where does he sneak? He's going for a map white flank. In the meanwhile, those somehow... taking the position elsewhere and going towards B.
In situations like this, when you don't get any information for a certain amount of time, some players have a habit of overplaying their hands, trying to get too creative. Don't think we're seeing that whatsoever from somehow. Simply crosses the B, gets the plant down, and now it's Lambda Court who has to make the play. Lambda Court, the one with the onus to convert. And with time ticking, he's going to feel like he's got to commit. Still got flashes, smoke, diffuse. Does have a certain amount of time to play with, but it is quickly ticking down. Bomb more than half ticks. Lambda has to flush out this player sooner rather than later. Benchery, standard place to play from. Doesn't go for the check. Gets the easy spray down. Losing experience. Begin to close this gap yet further.
I was sticking away. In the meanwhile, though, looting experience, third round for themselves. This is a very similar kind of approach that we had on the previous map. But it's down to Dragons now to respond, and again, somehow did phenomenally there. Just to keep it all within balance, he's been a #1 player. I'd consider him certainly one of the MVPs, not only for looting experience, but of the entirety of this grand final. Want to always step up alongside CKF. Again, not to discredit anyone else from the looting experience, but those two certainly have put a spotlight on themselves just through kills and the way they outsmart enemies at certain moments.
See if the intellect can make a round appear for Dragons or not, as this is the furthest on the back foot they've been on, feels like, in this half. 5 Deagles. Not a lot of pop. Zacharino finds out the hard way. Petra an open up with the Galil, and they're quickly looking for more fights. Multiple players on the site, as we have unfortunately walked into the stack for all the good. It's done, Dragons. 1 kill. Losing experience.
Okay.
Remembering how to play the game.
Remembering how to play the game is certainly a good way to put it. A flawless one from looting experience to clap back at Dragons, who have already given them a very sour taste in the previous map. But again, we delve into the past so much because that's where the results lie. That's where the mistakes have been most commonly presented to us. But now that display no longer there as commonly from looting experience. They seemingly are learning from what they did wrong. There you go, another hop attempted. Doesn't really find its mark. Trozo going to overtake this bottom, while though Zacharino setting himself up towards Palace, only to be met with, 2 players. This is going to get brutal for Dragons. But no, Zacharino, he pops one, is getting, just greedy for the gun, and CKF is going to punish him for it.
Still, 1 for 1. Not the end of the world when we're getting into these lower buy scenarios. Still a weapon, possibly salvageable. Still puts more chaos into the round, which you're more than likely to exploit, but doesn't seem to have happened in this scenario. USP versus any sort of rifle is a no-brainer. And so it feels like, for not the first time in this series, left in an unwinnable scenario. But still, he's able to make it threatening. Bloody hell. 2 Deags. But eventually taking care of losing experience. Equalize.
Equalize, Dragons. They saved them the previous round. And they're not going to be holding back this one. Ox instant op buy. I think it's quite traditional for him again. Wouldn't be Ox if he didn't carry an op. Now 5-5, but Dragons want to reclaim what they once held and want to return looting experience to that losing split. But a 7-5 for each of these teams, or a 6-6, whichever it might be. It's not as dominant of a showage as we had in the previous 3 maps. And oh, what a boost by somehow right above the smoke. Soaring sky, right above the Dragons, as one of their wings has been clipped. And now Zacharino, 10-9. That Katie not looking as dominant anymore.
It's like a switch flipped in losing experience. I mean, 5-1 to 5-5 numbers advantage. 6 by no means guaranteed, but statistically likely. Molotov's landing on B. Nobody quite home to defend. Lambda core empty-handed. And yes, there is Nuki in position, quick to try and get some semblance of control back. But he's only 1 man, and now 1 man 6 feet under. It's a 6 for losing experience. They've tied up the half. A chance to win it out. Dragons have let an absolute string of rounds be stolen from them. And what was a pretty flawless half from them has now turned rather sour.
Yeah, this round's casket also closed. Not much of an attempt will be made by Dragons, considering their buy into the next round is going to be only a final hurdle to close out this first half. Look at the op on Ox. He's going to hold down jungle. Someone going to walk into it. No, they're going CT side, and I'm starting to feel bad for Remind, who might encounter them at some point. Although at the moment, no, actually, he's safe around ramp. My mistake. I thought he was elsewhere. Either way, though, 6-5 here for Looting Experience, starting to get back into the match. And Dragons, they're feeling that tyranny. A runaway train is once more pitted against them, and that PTSD from Nuke starting to show itself once more. I do wonder if Dragons might be starting to opt out for a tactical timeout, but considering that it is the last round of this first half, I don't think it's really worth it. Again, everything's going to be reset in just a moment's notice. So look to be as lethal as you can right now, Dragons, to get a drawn out half. Otherwise, I mean, Looting Experience, they're going to take advantage of it.
Indeed. I mean, I think if you are Dragons, at the end of the day, no matter what happens in this last round, even if you get 0 kills, you get absolutely steamrolled on the site, like, 5-7 is a perfectly acceptable half.
Yeah.
But is it going to feel like that when you've just had 6 rounds in a row taken against you? Probably not, right? And so I think the mental here is the most important factor. One thing I'm particularly impressed with, again, on the topic of mental, is losing experience, right? Because they're down 5-1. They lose pistol, everything going topsy-turvy for them. Their opponent's on, series tournament point. And they're still able to lock in. They're still able to dig deep, get that extra 1% they ain't know they had. And because of that, they're now the ones with all the marbles. Dragons trailing behind.
Oh yeah, Dragons. Lambda seemingly having a bit of technical difficulty, so while we get that sorted out, we just want to give another shout that PGCS is brought to you by the Plausible LFG Network. Server owners, you're done babysitting voice rooms, no more moderators getting dragged into every argument, no more dead channels, and no more begging for growth. The Plausible LFG bot handles everything. Auto voice rooms that create and delete themselves, squad hosts get full control so your mods stay free, stat bait roles that gamify your server and increase chat activity, plus every LFG post blasts your community across our entire network so new members pour in. Less work for you, way more fun and active members for your Discord. Install free at plausible.gg and watch your servers turn into a thriving pre-made machine. As in the meanwhile, everything as it is being sorted, you have to also consider it in a competitive environment, right? It's not the same as going into a competitive or premier match in CS. Right now, a lot is on the line, and these players just kind of have to sit idly by in silence and think to themselves what they're going to do going into the next round. But it's still quite mentally draining if you think about it.
Indeed it is. You feel like you can't really do anything else, especially when you're waiting on tech issues. If you're given like a 15-minute break, you've got 15 minutes to kind of chill, If you're waiting on someone to come back, then you feel like you're trapped to your PC. You don't need the person who's on the toilet when the player rejoins, who holds up your team, or even worse, is AFK when round starts, right? So this is basically the worst feeling, possibly, in the game, in my opinion, at least, for especially, again, the player who's lost, especially for the Dragons, losing experience, can kind of sit here and chill a bit. Again, they've got all the momentum on their side. The vibes in their team probably pretty impeccable, even if you are, down the map, facing tournament elimination. You're as good as you reasonably can be, and so losing experience will only see this as a boon to their side. They'll only see this as an additional couple percentage points in their likelihood to take us all the way to Ancient Force, yes, to map number 5. Lambda Court. I hope we can get back into the server quickly, because every second they don't is odds of Dragons slipping yet further.
Yeah. I mean, right now the pause has 30 more minutes, so hopefully he's going to be back soon. Otherwise, Dragons might need to play a 4v5 going into what remains of this first half. And it's unfortunate, right? But at least this isn't a LAN, because I do believe if this were to be a LAN, I mean, the players would just have to actually, really awkwardly sit silent and think to themselves.
Yeah.
I think in Plausible Gaming, we're still community-driven. We allow them to talk right now, so they can have a bit of a chat. They can actually plan things. And in a LAN environment, this would be hell to pay for Dragons. But right now, we're just giving them a bit of a pause. But I feel like they're going to be forced to continue going with a 4v5, which is a rough standard, Dragons, but you're just going to have to roll with it.
All you can do.
Oh, no, we still have a moment. There we go. We're giving them a second chance.
Aren't we polite? Yeah. all you can do in these downtime, unfortunately. Just kind of wait and see. It never feels great, though.
No.
It never, ever feels great. And I think the thing as well with, like, tech issues as well is because they're such, like, a vague thing. Like, if there's a problem in front of you, you kind of solve it, right? But if your internet's bad or your PC's crashing, it feels like the universe is just conspiring against you. It's really not what you need in a situation like this.
Yeah, and for any viewers out there that are currently listening to this, we just want to ask you, what's your favorite map? And who do you think is going to win? Because I'm imagining, again, Dragons, coming from a bit more of an esports background and looting experience, having certainly been part of many different tournaments, might have themselves a small community. Again, well, Dragons do, at least in League. I'm not sure how large it is in CS, but everyone, let us know. Who do you think is going to win? Are you rooting for anyone? And what's your favorite map? Because all my Mirage and Anubis enjoyers rise.
See, as a caster, I feel like we legally have to be unbiased, but I can absolutely go for map tier list because I feel like for me, Nuke S tier will always be S tier.
100%.
For me, I'm actually a huge Overpass fan. I'm really big on Overpass.
I'm okay on it. It's whatever.
You just get so funky on it. You can just get weirds, and as well, like, it's such an iconic map for what we've seen. Like Olaf boost, nothing even similar to that we've seen in any other game, any other map, in my opinion, at least. Then what have we got next? Then we're looking at probably like Ancient, Anubis, Mirage, Inferno, Dust 2. I do not like Inferno.
No, I don't
agree with
like
it at all.
Either. The only thing I like about Inferno is the call out banana, because it's probably the most creative call out in CS, in my opinion. But besides that, Inferno seems like a boring map where saves are very common, rounds are long, rotations keep on happening back and forth. It's quite dreadful, but I guess that's just per person. Ancient is also really interesting. Once the decider here would certainly be something to look forward to. But yeah, right now, I do believe that sadly the timer for the technical pause is about to run out soon. So seeing as Lambda has yet to join, oh my goodness, look at Dragons. How many guns are on the ground here? Or no, that's looting experience. They've used up all their cash.
I mean, they have anything to save it through 4.
Hey, he's back.
Figure some way to figure. Oh, you're absolutely right. Lambda Core's finally returned. A couple of messages in the chat. We have unpaused. It's enough filling. Don't worry, folks. After that extended intermission, then we will be resuming Mirage here in just a couple of seconds. Remember, it's been 5 in a row for losing experience. Dragons would love to tie up this half before they end it.
You gotta love to see it. Dragons back in a 5 stack and a boost towards ladder. Oh, that's awkward. There we go, shoot it through. Nicely, Ox is through, and a Molly to instantly shut down any quick progression towards Abs, but a shot by somehow, and you know that's gonna land. Ox sadly though on the receiving end, and you've lost your primary opper.
Not the way you wanted this round to start off, and especially when we're talking about mental so much after a pause that long. You can't be giving it openers like that. It simply doesn't do. Drops into the site. There is a Molotov. Lambda Core gets his 1. Can't stabilize over on the second, even though Sick AF has 3 points of health. 3 versus 2. Technically winnable. Orphan the retake is not what you particularly want to deal with, but Zacharino brings out for 1. Backs out. Again, Sick cannot go for these aggressive peaks. He will surely be taken down. Remind can't be pushing the smoke because the Fade surely has his death written all over it. There's 1. Ducks under the spray. 1 versus 1. Zacharino. Slightly lower HP with the kit on his side. Baits a peak. Adjusts in time. Dragons able to keep the half healthy with a defuse. 6 and 6 heading into the side swap.
All right, this is the matchup we wanted. Mirage going to be a perfect counterfeit for both these teams, and 6-6 now. An even split. We've missed that ever since, well, we've started this grand final, but somehow, again, just shining so bright on that up. I just don't get it. This man is fair above a level 10 face-it account, I can give you that. Zacharino, with the finishing shot, was just able to get that lucky, I wouldn't necessarily call it a full-on fluke, but certainly did have a bit of a part in it. And now a return to the pistols. It's going to be looting experience on the CT side. Dragons now needing to take initiative, and they only have 1 player to take care of, but it is Let Me Cry, and he has 2 very, very ready Berettas.
Julie's more than a threat on a pistol. Make you a raid boss. Let me cry. Been dropped him. Got the armor to boot. See how the clear is on to his position. Not pristine. Lambda and Zacharino do eventually find equalization. More than that, we won't see it as the fight into Ticket is ugly as all hell.
My goodness. I mean, Dragons, they kept on pushing forward. They wanted more and more, and that greed ended up eating them as a whole. A mountain crashed upon them, and it was looting experience. I don't know why you want to take contestants against USPs who have that one-shot headshot potential on those pistol rounds, but again, Dragons, they were feeling the swing they took, and now they're going to have to accept defeat on another round. As though going forwards, does seem like there's a bit of a force buy from them. We see those Tech 9s, a Galil on Remind, I read you, but a bit of a technical pause, or rather a tactical pause incoming from Dragons. So we can take a moment to also check out their buys. Again, team money here. The investment from Dragons right now larger? Or rather, no, I don't know how to do math. Never do math as a caster on broadcast.
True. You could be anybody. You could be Terrence Tao, but as soon as you're in front of a camera and somebody asks you to do like very basic addition, the type you serve to toddlers, just give up, bro. Just give up.
Just stop talking. Hop off the desk.
Exactly.
It's not your time to shine. But yeah, look, Ali here, reasonably so. We're going to get those M4s running, comfortable as all hell. Utility is only present on CKF majorly, but it's not like Dragons have an overwhelming amount of it either. Although I wonder what the approach is going to be, because mid certainly should not be your go-to considering long range is at hand.
Yeah, you know you're probably playing against, especially A1Ss. You've got Galils, Deagles, a Tech 9. I wouldn't look at it as my first point of ingress, I'll put it that way.
Yep.
But that's exactly what they're going to do. Mid-smoke denies a lot of the peak that you'd otherwise expect. To connect to smoke isolates.
Ooh.
Especially Sick AF, and a boost into the window is for the present checked for. But of course the smoke fade could affect this either way. Lambda Core taking care of So's Nuki, who accelerates at a time where there's no real other threats on the map. And I don't mind the idea to force for the Dragons, but the way they elected to go about it, I think, had something to be desired. Orcs, some damage at least. The same can be said of Zacharino, but still, 2 versus 3. There's a lot of round left to play.
Good flash. One round Sears spotted. Might go for that pre-fire, but it's not going to get you anywhere. It's down to your teammate, though, and you still have CT to clear. Zacharino has put himself in a pinch, and Rewind cannot handle it all by himself. Dragons, certainly better ways to go about it. Again, mid is just not the go-to, especially when you're under the utility count that looting experience bring to the table, and guns as well. Yes, the Tech 9 can be good, but why not send it down B? Maybe a bit of a distraction around mid, make some sound around A, and then go apps fully, because that's where those Tech 9s thrive. The Galils as well, and you have so much more opportunities once you pass through apps themselves, but that's now given up, and just not a great start as Nuki is also fall.
Looting experience. I feel like Ancient has their names all over it. 5 rounds separate them from. Good peek out from the stair position. Sick AF. Same as all usual, finding every conversion that comes his way. Just 2 deagles left remaining, and this will open the gap to 3 rounds rather. And I just don't see any way we see too much of anything here. Maybe a 1-tap, maybe not. Seems like not being the important one here. That being said, you do have the guns through now. Dragons, I think you don't get this gunny, and you're getting very, very worried about how late this night's going to get.
Yeah, we might be here for a bit longer here. Dragons, I hope you still have the energy ready to expand it going into map number 5, because this one, even though it was beginning for you, you've seemingly lost the touch of Mirage all of a sudden, and looting experience on the CT side have been kind of putting you to your grave. But again, that was a pistol. I guess we can sugarcoat it with that. As for now, though, you're going to need to make your efforts worth the Molly taking a bit of damage from Yuki. He's able to react with a smoke to at least neutralize as much as he can. But for now, Dragons, I mean, they're sticking away from pushing apps or Palace like it's the plague.
It's a terrifying place to be.
Sure. As terrifying as mid against looting experience, though?
Apparently. That's all we can see from the server. Maybe things are a little bit different inside it. Sick AF decent off angle here. CF Reminders looking for it, but Orcs and Opener, Petra were taken care of. Finally, something going in favor of Dragons, and a well-timed Smoke Bloom gets them both information and a relatively safe cross. Spam not connecting either way. Plant, I believe, can go down, at least when the rest of them scale a little bit deeper onto the side ticket. The only place they have to be really terrified of. Nuki spamming, but with Traces against A1Ss, that is risky business to get up to. Troza as well falling, so numbers advantage for the attackers, and with CKF taking care of, one has to imagine that losing experience's threat here in round number 16 is minimal. But we've said that before, and somehow has always been able to, well, somehow make a miracle appear out of thin air. Time ticking lower, though. Not really in position to start a retake, and I've got to say 7 looks all but guaranteed here.
100%. I mean, somehow for a moment he was pushing towards Khan, but he made too much sound, and Remind might be for the take, and there we go, a lab for the slaughter. Somehow Lee's going to put one down before returning back to his under. Explosion's going to be out. Dragons, not too far apart. And a good way for them to respond. Again, economy from looting experience is still going to be somewhat kept at a distance. And Let Me Cry also has that MP9 from the previous round. But in all, Dragon Experience, again, its consistency, I feel like they've lacked, especially when they're below. Looting Experience, if they can get themselves a good run, they seem like an unstoppable force. Especially now that, well, Dragons found a bit of success around mid, are going to try and test the waters, as now, for the first time, we see them Palace and Ramp side ever since that opening round.
Yeah, and a heavy aggressive mid response from looking Experience. Lampacot first to die. Trade is there from Nuki. Tries to scale deeper into the site, but has to be aware of multiple angles. His team not quite following with him. Orp reveals its presence, misses the shot to boot. About as good as you can hope for if you are the Dragons. They're really deep now into jungle. Molly into Ticket. Stops Let Me Cry from going for a peak. Plant now down, but their hard is established on the site as maybe they'd like.
4 on each hand. Timer ticking again. Sands of Grain dropping. Looting Experience, what are we to do? The entry here is made looking impossible, but Nuki good on this flank. Petra is gonna have to feel it. Let Me Cry cannot find the refrag. CKF, what the hell are we doing? Oh my goodness! He's found a catalyst! Is this the magnum opus required? He needs 2 more. Gonna bait the first one, defuse. It's looking like a commit, but Nuki's gonna shut you down, and whew, I'll be honest, CKF had me scared for a moment.
We've been scared plenty of times in this game. That just one more, but thankfully, Nuki is able to continue that backstab just deeper and deeper. Fantastic. A play from the rifler. A 4K obviously found. You see here just shooting fish in a barrel, realistically. What is that?
That's what I
stupid.
said.
That's really dumb. Sometimes you see Counter-Strike and you understand the game, and sometimes you see people hitting stuff like that and you're like, no, you've made this up. Obviously, fantastic rifling from Sick, 2011, still absolute danger man. More than that, Dragons, however, shrink the gap to just 1 round. Looting Experience. Calm down a little bit. Cool a pause. But I think this map now, both teams recognize they could win, they could contend for, and so I think they're sitting a little bit closer to their monitors this stage in the game.
Poor Lambda, he's going to be dealt with once more a moment of having to face bad internet or PC issues, whatever it might be. You just have to feel bad for the man. Again, I think most of us can relate to a time of our lives when our devices just weren't working. Something was going wrong, and the frustration is incredible. Hopefully they're able to use that frustration to fuel the fire that Dragons need to come back here, as they only require 1 more round, and considering the eco here, even of a 4v5, it seems possible. But you know, I've had something on my mind. I wonder... Oh, I remember now. PGCS is brought to you by the Plausible LFG network. Solo queue, ruining your rank again? Long waits, toxic randoms, and 0 teamwork? We fixed it. The Plausible LFG network matches you with pre-mades using live in-game stats across PUBG and CS2. See everyone's rank and ADR before you join, jump straight into an auto-created voice comms room, and grind ranked with teammates who communicate and know what they're doing. Thousands of players are already linked. Early access is still free. Stop queuing alone. Head to plausible.gg right now and get your next squad in seconds. Your rank up starts here. As in the meanwhile, Lambda Core, you know, maybe he's going to be needing the Plausible LFG network to get himself back into this match.
Indeed. Really unfortunate for the Dragons that even after they get some progress on their side, they still got to deal with something like this. Just got to cross their fingers and pray it doesn't upset them too much. Of course, this round number 18, should be a gimme. They've got to deal with a kit, a smoke, some upgraded pistols. I don't want to say unlosable because I'm sure we've all seen some truly ridiculous things happen before, but this is as close as you can reasonably get, right?
Yeah.
Surely nothing silly would happen. Surely.
Well, I would love to agree with you, but after what Sikaev just pulled off, I don't believe in anything anymore. Reality is not as we see as it is. Whatever the case, Dragons, player down. Sadly, their time, I believe, has ran out, as it is the same issue with Lambda Bakor that he had earlier. Maybe this one round is going to give him time to resolve it, and Dragons, for the better part of it, they don't really have a lot of a competition to work against. I mean, 5 Deagles, sure, it's going to be rough. But hey, you got AKs, and Zacharino's going to put his to the test to make sure that balance is going to be tipped in the skill of Dragons. Missed bullets because he's already used all of them on looting experience in their 3 players, as Trozor and Petro just have to stare in terror.
Unwelcome surprise for Petro, who's taking care of pretty quick, like... Clean sweep there. You don't need Lambda Core, apparently, to beat losing experience, at least in that round. I said it was unlosable. They did it 4v5. That being said, once we get into the rifle rounds, this is going to be slightly more of a predicament, right? You start every round with a disadvantage, a large one. I think it's 37% of the time you convert 4v5s. In a game that's going this close, that really could, and maybe even should, be the difference maker. And so if I'm Dragons, I've got to play absolutely pristine. 3 players heading towards B, an area I think you said they were allergic to attacking. Now they're committing for it.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we've kind of missed from them. They've been so mid-centered, and now they're going to send it all forward. It's seemingly working out because it is equal balance. Sikaev, though, you have to take care of this player. He has been such a thorn in your side. And Zacharino! No, he misses his shots. Could have been great for Dragons, but the opportunity passes on by. An 8 kill there, and Yuki is going to find Let Me Cry, and even though he did find himself in somewhat of an equal standing, a 1v2 is still there nonetheless, but he does have that bomb, and he's rotating through short. Found Sikaev. One of the largest oppositions is now gone. Somehow, though, needs only 1 bullet, similarly like to a Yuki, so it's just down to who finds it first.
Indeed. I mean, what a miss. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. A 3k spread amp was available instead. Gets a bullet for his trouble. Stick comes through. Will be able to plant safely. Doesn't commit to it. 40 seconds left to go. Here's the footstep. Both players. A web! Oh. Nuki able to find the swing timing. Against the body spamming into boot. Dragons reach 10 in an incredibly stressful round. Oh my god. But they are still not stable. Lead, yes, in their favor. Economy, pretty healthy, to be honest. Nuki has got 9k. Their opponent's down to MP9s, but that additional player, it has to be foremost in their minds.
I mean, the amount of respect
Yuki.
to have for Dragon... Oh, that's going to be close. But he's able to back off, go to his teammate, recoup, and try and gather up their thoughts. Because right now, looting experience, they're playing a different game. They know in a 4v5, but what are we doing, Zacharino? We're going up ahead of our boundaries. The up is going to go missed. 2 players here from Dragons, as if it wasn't bad enough from the beginning alone. Behind that TV, that's a real good spot. He goes for another, but Remind is there to refrag him. A 1v3, though, and I do not think this one's going to be made plausible.
This is have to be pretty ridiculous. You've got the bomb on your back at the very least. That is kind of where the silver linings end, as Lucy Experience are full aware. There is no way, realistically, he could have snuck his way off towards A. Try and take what space he can on B, but it could be in any corner. Has found the correct pathing, I believe. Escaping through mid. Best case scenario, we'll have a 1v1 versus Petro. Might be able to slip past unnoticed. But, I mean, what sloppy work in the apartments. Oh, back turned. 5-7. Whiffy. Molotov will burn him out. Does have a smoke for it, however, but that puts Remind on a timer. Sick AF breaks the clock pretty fast. 10 to 10, lose the experience, send it right back.
I mean, that is just a shame, but right now, as we see how Lambda is, we are gonna go back to our cameras, our beautiful faces that we know you missed, and just talk about it for a moment. We're gonna be cutting it to a short break because right now, Lambda, we need to solve his issue so it could be a bit more of an even fight. Again, a 4v5 constantly is gonna be annoying for Dragons, practically impossible. So right now, we're gonna cut it to a short break. Stay tuned, and the second those issues are resolved, we're gonna be right back.
I'ma make it big dreams, big sights since I was a kid. Doing things that I like, let the pieces fit. I like the pain, feel alive when I'm under it. I could change, adapt, do what I need to. All these obstacles, they look and see through. Don't let the anger out, just let it feed you. I'll see you at the top, just let me teach you.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller, move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer, I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motor. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
They be like, really, you got a milli from doing something silly? I'm like, chilly, I've been killing for decades now, Billy. Well, maybe like several years, but who's counting really? I just know how to turn something silly into a milli. Got a lot to say, and a lot need to hear it. You don't quit today, we don't stop, no, we feel it to the top. Yeah, we change our whole world, yeah, we steer it. Getting lost in the things that make us so worth hearing. No, I'm the first one to turn up, learn stuff, but mostly I'm just in the lab getting work done. Cause the bills on the first, they still worth some. I never forget being broke, man, it hurts, son. But not as bad as not having any purpose. I took stabs, this and that, and it's working. But I still grind every day for that thirst. It's a curse being first, yeah, still gotta get my work done.
Yeah, I'ma be a high roller, move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer, I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motor. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters.
Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn way. Ain't nobody tell me shit, I'm on top of it. Writing hits that make other people feel like writing hits. We gon' get every little goal that we wanna get. Never quit, we don't even know what it means to quit.
And we return. Again, apologies for the short break, but we want to keep it as short as we possibly can so these teams are up and ready. As you see, Lambda has rejoined. It's still me, Buffalo, it's still Spectrion. We are heading to a 10-10 split, now with a 5v5, back to even grounds, and an interesting gunfight, as this is going to be one of the rare times we see actually both teams fully bought.
It feels like it has, as you mentioned, a rarity, especially in this matchup. I feel like so many times we've had like one person on like a Deagle or a 5-7 or some sort of nonsense. This time, no concessions. Just counter. Deep down mid is Nuke, uses the flash across that space. Pretty nice and fast. They expected here in short, not in ladder room. We'll have to wait and see, but they have to know it's a possibility. Sick AF, no longer a threat, removed early on. Lovely headshot from Lambda Core. The pre-fire is beautiful, but somehow is able to keep him honest. Nuke the same back. And it feels like after that pause, Dragons have come back reinvigorated. Nuke, however, will be removed, but hey, your opponents are both on B. It doesn't matter.
The second you're praising Dragons, we see Nuke just go out on a limb. want to test his fate.
It's life, bro.
It is. I mean, honestly, I think they just want to. I think they just want to have fun as well at this point. By the end stage, as plausible as we are competitive, we're also community driven. So again, no harm, no foul there. But right now, Dragons are going to find themselves the round. Continuing on to the next one with a really good Continue out. Remind might be in it for himself, but the expectancy here, does he have it again? Yes, actually, he was looking towards Trozor, but in the end, again, it was that HP difference and the headshot found first, as now we have it into 11. This is going to be a difficult round here for looting experience, because if they do end up losing it, or at least this one and the next one, well, by then it's already over, so I guess my point goes to waste.
Just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, my friends. Obviously, high stress round here for losing experience once more. They had control of the game for a bit. They were allowed to react. Relax. Now, same could not be said. Every single player looking at A, heading into the more fortified site. So the exec is going to have to be pretty perfect. Molotov forces one player to drop. One response, in theory, blocks them up, but they're going to be committing through. Nade just around the corner, and the commit now through. Somehow, what an opener found. Kind of stalled out already on this attack, and as we find kills nice and quick, and that doesn't seem to be happening until Zacharino starts making magic happen with his own two hands. 2 versus 2. Both players committed onto the site. Orb and bomb both makes it somewhat tricky. He can deny the sideline or he can plant the bomb. One or the other. Not that they're aware that both players now pushed up. Both players find their kill. Dragons reach 12. Tournament point now available.
That is scary for looting. What do they have to buy? I mean, it doesn't seem like everyone's going to be good for the M4A1Ss unless, of course, there's support around that utility from the rest of the stack, and it will need to be by the end. I was thinking Dragons, you know, they still had a smoke, could go for a safer plan, but they gunned it all down, and that's what matters. A FAMAS and 2 MP9s on the CT side, it's looking like a bit of desperation, but what else can you do as looting experience? You need to buy it all, and what a shot from him! Somehow, I'm telling you, this guy in smokes, those are merely a suggestion to him.
Like I'm saying, he's got to buy like a lottery ticket or else admit that he's got Superman vision. Because either you're the luckiest person ever, or, as you mentioned, that smoke's just a suggestion. What an opener to find on round number 23. Dragons, still a threat. Still capable team. They've shown they can do it. 4 versus 5, but they did have Nuki as their highest flyer, as their driver, their engine. Now without him, what can they do? Late to the attempt to punish a jumping player. Drops into Van, safe so far from Troza, who's looking for a way in and will not find it. Lambda and Zacharino both find frags. 3 players for looting experience to stay alive, and they're both able to post a no-scope. The hell's up with that? 2 versus 2. Remind in out of 1v1. Petrowa could be a second away from losing the tournament, and Tap does it. 3-1. Dragons able to convert.
My goodness. The Dragons have risen from their flames and now set the enemies into their ashes. Looting experience could not prevail. That map number 1 was sadly a fluke. Whatever happened on Nuke, that entire drive has now gone on by. And there are your champions for the Plausible Gaming CS2 Championship Series Season 11, as they're going to take the majority of the $1,000 prize pool. Congratulations to Dragon again. They really stepped it up going towards not only Anubis, where they were stronger on Dust, and now the strongest on Mirage, where they even faced their enemies in a 4v5 and still won some rounds.
Yeah, the 45 was honestly way more competitive than I thought, but I think they just had Nuki, who was just playing like an absolute madman in some of those just ridiculous amounts of value. And because of that, they were able to eventually pilot themselves to win. And you mentioned Nuke is their own pick, their first pick. It's what you're the most confident on. And you get absolutely dumpstered 13-3, but thankfully they're able to reset in between maps. They win 2 close ones and throw in some domination on Dustu just for the sake of it. What an absolutely deserved win.
An absolutely deserved win. I mean, they worked hard from it ever since the semifinals. They were incredible. But, I mean, in general, as happy as of an ending it was for them, there's going to be always that second chance for looting experience to come back into the next tournament and show that they've still got it. Second spot is still great for them to see, and we are very happy that they delivered us such a good performance even from their side. And we just want to quickly thank everyone who played inside this tournament. Again, even those best of ones we did not see through all towards the semifinals and into the grand finals. Without these players, the hype would just not not be there. We also want to thank the beautiful production in the background. Hazy, Caladius, Krauser, Elf, Ramish, Toshe, everyone working on this has made it such a quality broadcast. And of course, Edu and yourself, Spectrian, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast.
It's been an absolutely wonderful time, but I think that's all we've had for you today. And so, for the Season 11 Championship stream, that's everybody here signing off. Edu, gang.
What you want, what you need, what you see, everything that you wanna be. Put it out in the world, that's your destiny. In your mind, what you need is to have belief. I'm gonna make it to the top, cause I never stop. My own switch doesn't have enough. I think it's broken, I think it's lost. I guess that's why I never take a loss. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe, and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you're bound to win. Just believe and you will succeed. Put the hours in and you're bound to win. Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion and leaving behind adequate. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen then. You could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The high life is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase on. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you could do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your worth go up like inflation. And start chasing your dreams, stop waiting. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down, what you see, don't give up, just believe, and you will succeed. Put the hours in, and you're bound to win.